Is in from the small blind.
Ace King versus Queen Queen. That about sums it up. We're going to go live now. Hi, welcome to Bellagio Pots. I'm your host, Dallas Scott, my co-host tonight, the great Hardini, John Harden. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Here to be entertained.
We got a lot of returning faces tonight. Some of them have had not so good luck on this stream.
Fair statement. Michael Macy has found a decent flop here with the naked little overpair.
Right.
He is up against Mr. Andres FB. He is
from Mexico.
From Central Mexico. Got to find the name of the town and butcher it for you. Torreon, I believe, is how you would not pronounce that.
Looks like a $460 bet into a $775 pot.
Yeah, so Michael has forwarded the 360 and then c-bet the 10 high flop for about half pot.
Wow, and he's going to get called by
Andres is going to peel here.
I don't know if I like that peel.
Well, I mean, with the 4-bet going in, you're slightly less concerned about a dangling 10,
right?
Unless somebody got real cagey with
That's
the
what,
10.
Yeah, I don't like the float there. I like Mike's bet there.
Yeah, I mean, you got a barrel.
I'm talking about the call by Andreas. That I don't.
That's.
You like the call? With the 4-bet, you got 2 overs. He could have easily had a hand like 10s, jacks, queens.
The question is, does Michael fire at least one barrel with ace queen?
Of course he is. It's Michael Macy. He's all in.
So
he is not going to walk away loser tonight.
4-bet, bet.
So for those of you who don't know Michael Macy's past on the stream, the stream has not been very kind to Mr. Macy in the past.
That is correct.
Sets over sets, straight over straight.
Let's just go ahead and go to his little bio here. We asked him one of the questions.
Very early.
What's your biggest poker accomplishment? And his answer was, I once lost several $1,000s.
I think the first time he was on, he lost like $6K in the 5-10 game.
Oh, no, that's Del Vecchio that wrote that.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Mike's have not done well. We just don't have a bio for Michael Macy.
Yeah.
So the long story short is that
he's trying to do something different tonight, change up his luck.
Yeah.
He got shelled twice.
Michaels have not done well traditionally.
No, it has not been a good show for Michaels, for sure. Hey, Ron Corey, who's been on the stream a few times, woke up pocket threes here. He's going to raise he calls the $40.
No, Ron opened.
No, he raised.
Ron opened first in.
Standard
Macy
call
on the button
here by
with
Macy.
the king 10.
Yep.
3 seed is one Duncan Kirk. He, I believe, is. Where is he from originally?
I thought Dunkirk was a city in France or England.
Kirk, K-I-R-K.
Yeah, didn't they make a movie about him?
Dunkirk?
A war movie?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, bad joke. Harry got it.
So we've got the Duncan Kirk is now a resident of Melbourne, Australia.
I didn't even get to get on stream, so it's like
he was born in Scotland and then immigrated to Melbourne in 2004. Plays at the Crown Casino.
Make sure they tell them that I won.
So, stupid story. All my life, we thought my grandmother was Irish. Come to find out, we do, the DNA 1, 2, 3 thing, whatever that thing is called.
Yeah, 23 in May.
Yeah. She's Scottish.
Well?
Yeah. Apparently there's a difference. You can't tell people in Ireland your last name is McKinsey and think that you're Irish. They don't go for it.
Fair enough. Fold to Duncan all the way here on the button.
Should be raising with the King Jack. Standard.
Pretty automatic. Decline from the world. And that's how you do it. You fly 14 hours, you win the blinds.
There you go. Not a wasted trip. You can't say you haven't won a hand.
So who else we got here? So we got a trio of Michaels. We got the 3. We got the
Michael
6.
Macy. 2, 4, and 5. 2, 4, 5.
Seat 4 is Michael Beasley from San Francisco. He works for a tech company in Silicon Valley. Since 2005, his senior year of college, been playing poker and plays about 20 hours a week in the 5-10 no limit game at Bay 101.
But it's 30.
Bay 101's got one of the most interesting local gambling regulations I've ever heard of. They have a restriction on how long you can be on the property.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's either 18 or 20 hours. They clock you when you come in, and they compel you to leave if you've been there too long.
I actually kind of like that in a little bit because after a while, people start to get funky. Make them go home and take a shower. I'm down with that.
Yeah. There's I think I've talked about this on the stream before, but if you go to
For the past like 2 or 3 weeks.
if you go to
playing,
Southern
like,
California, you go to
and then this weekend,
LA area, there's a guy that's a
Chicago,
regular in
Germany,
some of the
you know?
games there
Uh,
whose nickname
he's like-
is
he's
Six
on,
Day
like, Poker Night
Ted.
in America, and he ran some like
That's-
And
anime
it's
this is
because he
what
will
I-
come in and play
like
for days on end,
yeah.
nodding
Yeah.
off at the table
So,
while he
like,
does
This
so.
whole weekend, I just like I went from playing nothing to 5
Before he
minutes to
finally
playing,
decides.
like,
The scary thing is I can just imagine him quitting a game at 8 o'clock in the morning and having to fight LA traffic to get home after he's been awake for a week.
I just got stuck.
Yeah, we have a guy actually that comes into town and plays our mixed game like
After
that
just, like,
for like a week,
I
the
made
8160
5-10
mixed game
2
for like a
weeks to
week
make, like,
straight.
13K.
I don't think he ever
Like,
leaves the table.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is like the worst thing ever. Like, what?
He tells some good stories as well.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He tells some great stories.
He's like just one of my favorite people to play with.
Did he tell you about the fluffy Pilgrim helmet?
No, he did not.
He said that it's
Who said that their
putting helmet
their
on,
goal
Let me
was
listen to this real quick.
getting the helmet back.
It worked.
Anyway, he obviously showed it as well.
God, I wish I caught the beginning of this.
my bad? Who said they want their goal is to tilt Helmuth?
Yeah, I mean Jeremy's amazing. It was so much fun playing with him every night. Jeremy Kaufman.
I had it here, and I don't know where it is.
The,
Andres, the 1 seed. His
I think you need to have loftier goals because it's not that hard to tilt Helmuth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
wiffle ball.
right.
But he's like super talkative and like really lively. He's like always gets the game really going.
I really wish I knew who he was talking about.
When he did the, I'm not sure how much it was for, 40k or 50k, 13 card flip club poke. And after 9 cards up for one of them and 8 cards up for the other, I got into a quick debate about how much to buy out for.
Okay.
Someone did the maths on it, about $200 out.
Oh really?
It was very genuinely impressive.
There you go, talking more about math and poker. I don't understand how the two go
He's
together.
definitely a
I'm
really
just saying.
smart guy.
Under the gun limp with the pocket trays.
I know the gun limp's always a little scary though, right?
Can be. We have seen some old school limp raises from early position from some big hands.
Like,
No, we haven't had on our show. No, we haven't had the
16K
the other the crazy Mike, Mike
Third
X.
night, I was down 8K and wound up winning 2K. It's like, but like, I don't know, it's too much for my heart to take these days.
And that's because Jeremy plays very swingy poker.
Yeah.
Kings
Andres
for
and
Dan.
Dan.
Kings and 4s for Andres. And a backdoor royal draw for Ron. He's going to check call. $30 bet from the mystery hand of Mike Del Vecchio, World Poker Tour winner from Thunder Valley last year.
I think most of the guys we have here today are comfortable playing 5-10. Ron Corey might be a little bored playing 5-10.
Fair state.
He likes to play much bigger games. He'll be on our 25-50 stream in 2 weeks.
Mental sanity break.
Little brick on the end here.
Wedding and like just some stuff that was going on. Just, no, it's actually.
Dan's got 3 opponents behind him with second pair. Deliberating what exactly to do here.
Andres is going to call, right? He's
There's just times where
That is an overbet
I'm kind of.
$230 to $170 pot.
with 3 opponents behind, and you got second pair.
Does he polarize his
this
hand right
is-
there? It's
this
the all or
is-
nothing hand,
this
right?
This is turning a pair into a bluff,
Wow, Andres lays it down.
and he's going to win it. I mean, you can't blame Andres for letting go of
No, but I
basically middle 2 pair there.
But
The
Daniel,
flush
he
draw,
did what we
straight draws
talked
get there on the turn.
about polarizing his hand, about making it either one or the other there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things that people don't like when you're going to bet. What is the purpose of your bets? Do you want somebody to call you so you can make some money? Are you trying to just push them off the hand? You know, like, and I think Daniel just showed us a great bet. Push them off a hand.
Like the big one, buddy.
When is that? When is that? Right now?
December.
Disciplined fold from Duncan under the gun with the suited ace.
Biggest game going on the Bellagio right now is either 25.
20-40 no limit.
It's either 25-50 or 10-20-40.
Probably really fun to. Have you ever been to Hogs and Heifers?
A couple millionaires in town.
It's a bar downtown. It's like the
It's pretty much
closest
a
thing to,
constant
Coyote
this
Ugly
day, you'd
that,
think.
like you'll ever find. It's like this country bar, and they have just like a bunch of cute waitresses like wearing like almost no clothing, like drinking
It's
on the
interesting
bar,
how like
drinking
one guy
everything,
walks in the room and all the
it's
sharks
all
jump
hell
up and try to
breaking
run to a
every
table.
night there.
Where?
Hogs and Heifers downtown.
So Ron opens his button when it folds to
So I
him.
imagine
Manages to
during
flop top 2
the
pair.
Cowboy
The
convention,
unfortunate
that's,
part
like,
is he's
out of
up against
control.
Nothing.
Like,
Another
Queen
fun
high.
place to go is
Hopefully Andreas will take a stab at the pot sooner or later.
Cowboy type bar, but at
Andres, excuse me.
Tavern, Town Square?
Town Square, yeah. What's it
He'll
called?
get me straight sometime.
Oh, Grace O'Malley.
No.
I know exactly what you're saying. They have a mechanical bull.
Can't check
Yeah,
it again.
they're
Gonna have to win the minimum.
Yeah, Stoney's, that's it.
Thank you, Ron.
Grace O'Malley's is a bar in Canada. Wow. Yeah, Stoney's.
But I haven't been to the one you're talking about. That sounds
Hogs
fun.
and
I was just
Heifers
downtown
is
last
like
night.
the more wild version
Really?
of Stoney's.
Where
I
is
would
where
say.
is it?
It's downtown, like pretty close to Gold Spike.
Talking
like
about
a
the
block
local
from
bar
Gold Spike or
scene
something
here.
like that.
Weird. I've been
Locals
hanging out
go
with
downtown, right? We don't really hang out on the strip. If you're going to go out,
Definitely check it out.
downtown is much more fun to me.
So, I mean,
A lot
it
more
gets
going
pretty
on, a
wild
lot
in
more
Stoney's,
interesting
too.
people.
Yeah. When they do the
And you can just hang out in the street
like,
downtown.
the, bull riding
They always have the
contest.
the 3 stages with different music going on. Like it's
I know, that was the only time I've ever left that place. Yeah, I couldn't watch it.
One time I was talking
Get
to
him
this
next
girl
year.
there. I was talking to this girl there, and I was like, "Oh, I'm really good at riding a mechanical bull." And I gave him like $10, and I was like, "Hey, like, hook me up here."
Fold to Dan on the button. He opens the suited
And then he
king.
just rent it right up to hard
Gets
mode.
defended by
Fucking flew off. I
Andres
was like,
and
fucking guy, like,
Mr.
$10
Macy.
tip, and this is how you treat me.
That's funny.
I mean, he got
Mike's
me
got a
right.
gut shot and a pair. Not going to continuation bet here.
They're going to give Dan the opportunity to barrel here, it looks like.
For about 60 seconds for a longer run.
Declined with his wheel draw.
Dan makes a wheel. It's a bad spot for Mr. Mason.
Yeah.
He'll be cussing out the stream for the rest of his life.
Passive 3-way pot here, blind defense. The night is young, we shall see.
Hello, Vinny. What's going on? Thanks for joining us in the chat. You're watching Bellagio Pots, Bellagio Poker on the Strip. I'm your host, Dallas Scott. Co-host is John Harden. We do have our faithful producer
Where do you
here,
live
Mr.
now?
Harry Corvasi. He'll jump in from
Still
time to time tonight.
In like Eastern 215.
The 5 Diamond World Poker Classic is coming up in a couple weeks, November 24th through December 10th.
It'll be upon us sooner than we think.
Yes,
Yeah,
it starts the day after
like,
Thanksgiving.
yeah, a little
You'll notice that scrolling on the right side of your screen are all the events. Yes, we do offer poker rates. You have to play 6 hours in a room. I believe if you enter one tournament, do you still get the poker rate?
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, though. I think we're pretty liberal with our
Yes, I
our
believe,
poker
yes.
rate requirements. Joe's open +1 here with the mystery hand, gotten defended
I hunted Pokemon.
by Ron in the high
That's like
jack
a
and
great
Michael out of
hand
the
flop
flank.
for Ron.
It's like a common thing.
Yeah.
They actually have like a great course set up for disc golf. Like I never used to play it.
How does disc golf work? Is it like with like mini frisbees or?
Yeah, like.
Is Ron flat here,
Yeah, they're, like,
or does he just
weighted,
play
so
it
it's, like,
big with the
and they have
diamonds
those,
and the
like,
straight
fast
draws?
I wouldn't mind him
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
it fast here, and that's
He
what
raised,
he chooses to
yeah.
do.
I mean, right now is like the only time you can really get outside and do something like that.
It's the counterintuitive play of would he really
Probably
raise
raise
trips
it
or better
last
here?
Right.
Still a little
Or you
bit.
want to hope
Now
that
you just kind of hope Joe has something
yeah.
and he doesn't.
You're telling me. This
just
is
the
the first time
standard
in,
C
like,
bet
3
with
years.
2 overcards, bet fold. Unfortunately, you can't find a hand to be up against there.
But most of the courses in Vegas like are really shitty. There's no.
You're in the desert, of course.
Yeah, it's all flat. There's no trees. This one at Sunset actually has like a design course.
they're talking
so they
about
kinda,
disc
like,
golf.
Put some trees and stuff.
I thought they were talking
Just,
about
like, make it
golf.
more fun.
No. He's saying there's no good courses in Vegas. He's talking about golf. That is a patent
Final
falsehood.
Spike ball. Have you ever heard of spike ball?
Does that have something to do with like a volleyball net?
Yeah, except it's like instead of like a volleyball net, it's like almost like a little trampoline or something like that, and you have to like hit the ball onto the little trampoline, and that's like the equivalent of it going over the net is when it hits that thing, and you get like 3 hits back and forth with your teammate before you have to like hit it on the trampoline again, and then
Is there any defense involved, or is it just like you take a shot and try to hit it?
I mean, there's a lot of positioning involved. Like you can't interfere with other people's shots.
So Dan's raised with the ace-10. Andres is going to 3-bet with the pocket jacks
Yeah,
here.
it's a lot of fun. It's a good game.
Dan's out of position. He's going to play ace-10 out of
Where do you
position.
live?
I still live at the Martin.
Okay.
No. Discipline fold.
Central. I get to walk here.
Does he make that call-in position?
Very possibly.
I mean, now that I've been playing less, I'm really happy where I am.
Slide the button to the right about 3 seats, and that pop might be a little bit different.
Take a break and go to the gym or whatever you want. I end up just playing like 15 hours. Just like, well, I don't want to go home, go back, or.
When I was like living off the strip, like I would just like never play poker. Just so much happier at home. Like
The water in a Dos Equis.
Yeah. Same place.
Yes, that's right.
Should be a raise from Duncan with the king 9 on the button, of course. Oh, Mr. Del Vecchio is probably defending.
Pause for cocktails before I deliberate what to do with the queen jack offsuit.
3-better. You can play this hand. He's probably going to 3-bet it. There
Just
he
about
goes.
anything is available to him here, and 160 looks like the decision. 180, that's a big 3.
You never played it.
I've played it, but
Gonna
I
get the
think
jack
Duncan
right.
just lost what he won on the blinds the last time.
you're still floating too.
You play here usually.
Michael Macy up to a good start here this time.
I'm rooting for Michael Macy just because his last 2. I mean, you hear about people being cooler, but he's had cooler over straight, set over set, full house, not full house to quads, like everything that could possibly go wrong in 2 sessions went wrong for him.
Bellagio on the hunt club.
Mike, a few bucks.
Yeah, it's fun just to check it out, just because it's like so they just put so much money into it.
you're going to excess tonight? Who's the DJ?
Marshmallow?
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
He is my favorite.
Solid one.
30. What's he raised to 30?
Marshmallows, he puts on a great show. It's really fun.
See how it goes. Balls.
Michael here on the button, just flat calling the open from Andres with the mystery hand. Ron gonna come up?
No,
No.
Ron's 3-bet.
Ron taking it to 3-town out of the 3rd blind.
Ron is the big blind. The
Yeah,
$10 blind?
Ron's in the $10 blind.
Okay. Makes more sense
Mike's
when it's
just
called
gonna
by
get out of the way.
Andreas with
Andres is going to have plenty of hand to continue here. Let's see what Ron chooses to do. You think Ron's got a real hand here?
I do. But
Three betting.
we've also seen in past streams that Ron is not afraid to put chips in a pot,
Andres has
with or without a hand.
just way too much to even contemplate doing anything besides probably just calling down 3 streets here.
Ron's going to fire again. It's like 500
Yeah.
to a pot of 620.
He's putting a good narrative down that he's got jacks with the king beat, but it's tough to open flop top pair and pretty quick call here from
Open, get
Andres.
3-bet flop top here and keep going.
So of logical hands that get 3-bet out of the big blind here, it's not a lot. Ron declines to put another bet in and shows ace. Ace, king, ace,
Ace,
queen,
king,
I
yeah.
presume.
Thank you.
Ron does a lot of, what do they call it, charity work in town. Thank you.
Philanthropy.
Thank you. Too many syllables
I
for me
got you.
tonight.
I got you.
Does a lot of stuff with, actually does a lot of national stuff too. He does a national thing to help police that were wounded on duty that, you know, they live in small towns. Those towns can't afford to pay the insurance after they've been hurt and stuff like that. They do a lot of things to raise money for that. They raise money here in Vegas for wounded cops. He's involved with a program called Square Panda, which might be the next big tech company.
Oh, yeah?
I wouldn't check out a presentation of it. It's pretty amazing. The things, it's, remember the Leapfrog for kids? No. You don't remember the little thing, the commercial for Leapfrog, the little learning tool for kids? It's like Leapfrog on steroids. Ron is back with Ace King.
He chooses to just flat the 3-bet from Joe here. It goes fold all the way to Mikey on the button with the Queen Jack. Joe threes it second in out of the first $5 blind, and Ron just flats 120 total with the Ace King. Back to Mikey. He's going to open and 4-bet.
Wow.
Queen Jack.
That's a strong, strong 4-bet. I don't think that Mike thinks that Ron is that strong there, just flatting the 3-bet.
Joe's had some pressure put on him the couple hands he's played so far.
I guess it was fun just because this is kind of like my home casino, and there was like a very different, like I didn't know anyone I was playing with.
Wow.
Just going to flat call here.
380. I was doing pretty well, and then I just got like called in the best hand. It was just really weird.
This would be a beautiful 5-bet shove from Ron.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the same thing, that maybe he might want to just put a big bet in. And remember, Ron plays a lot bigger than 510, so 2,000 here isn't really that, it's not that much to him. There he goes, all in, beautiful.
What a great pre-flop play.
Awesome.
Obviously, this is all for nothing if Joe has played 2 queens, 2 kings in a very cagey way here.
1,070.
Wow. I think it's well played by Ron.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's getting max value here pre-flop. Joe's confused. He's going to call.
Wow, he's going to call.
I mean, it was pretty crazy. Like,
Seems pretty aggressive.
I was
2 queens, I reckon.
Like I folded this hand, like, because I was just like, how would this guy ever show up with like a worse hand than me right
Once
here?
or twice
Like,
is the discussion.
Like I couldn't believe like the craziness.
Twice it is.
Seems pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
First board should be Ron.
Pocket tens both times.
Let's see what we got here.
I think they're saying Joe's got the 2 10s here. Made a set twice.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Wow. That's a gutsy call with 10s there, though. That's, I don't know if I make that call with 10s myself. I don't know. That's
a strong one.
So the other day on the 10, 20, 40 game, I saw 2 guys get in kings versus 10 pre-flop. And the weird thing is they run it twice. On the first flop, it's the 5 of hearts, 10 of clubs, 4 of clubs on the flop. The second flop is the 5 of clubs, 10 of hearts, 4 of hearts on the flop. Same flop, just they just reverse suits. I don't even know what the odds of that are. And 10s win both of that one. Wow, that was. I just thought John had a better hand, or Joe had a better hand than that. Oh, now he's going to get rewarded by waking up with a hand like
Here we
kings.
go.
I don't think that's Ron's ace king. No, it's
they're putting that up for the previous hand.
Yeah, it was
I played live with the bike twice. We stayed at the hotel across the street. I think it's a Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. They have breakfast.
I like playing at the bike more than the Converse. They have like a really, when they get the 510 running, it's really fun. They do like.
I don't like the Converse very much.
Graphics are a little behind here, trying to fix the payoff from the previous hand, I believe. I have no earthly idea what transpired in this one here. It looks like it was. It looked like a button open from Joe, and Dan defended.
I was like, just sure I was making a good fold. He just has the worst hand. I'm like, How could okay?
It's a pretty good flop if Joe has a 10-5 of hearts. Gives him lots of bluffing opportunity.
Yeah.
I love going there.
Peppermill.
Just like a hassle to get there, and then you're staying in some like crappy casino. It's like
What's that?
it's like a hassle to get there, and then you're staying in like the Peppermill. It's like not like
No, the Peppermill is dope, man. I love it. There's something about it that it's just like.
It's the neon at the
one of my
Peppermill.
favorite.
It is
feels
the
like
most
you're
neoned out place you've ever been in your
Neon
life.
and mirrors.
Yes,
Some strangely placed pastel colors.
yeah, it's like
It
out of a
rem-
movie or something like
I-
that.
have you seen the movie The Ladies Man?
It's like out of the movie Casino or something.
It reminds me of something out of The Ladies Man, or some like 1970s Playboy mansion type deal. It's awesome.
Like I went once. But
I think Dan's contemplating a check raise with ace high here.
And he decides not
declines.
to.
I mean, and you'll just get some of the most wild games ever. Like, it'll be shitty 3 out of 4 times you go. but
Nice start for young Joe from the Bay Area here. Claims to be a. How does he?
Yeah,
How
all the
does
Reds
he?
were really scared that I was going to move.
Straight up professional poker player.
I'm not going to be moving
Flexible,
to Reno, buddy.
analytical pro.
Don't worry about me.
No, there's actually a little politicking going on.
From San Jose, so that would mean that
A bunch of Vegas people.
his regular casinos would be the Bay 101 or the new Matrix, which I haven't heard much from recently.
Are
but
they? I heard did they close for remodeling or something like that?
They just opened.
Like 2 years ago, but I thought somebody told me they were redoing something.
The Bay 101, I think, did some work on their place, right? Maybe that's what it is. Never been to either property. I've been.
Neither have I.
Need to get out
a really
there.
good friend of mine, Mike Ishmati, plays a lot at Bay 101. He loves the action up there.
Yeah, I was only playing golf.
Michael Macy, another great. We haven't seen this flop set yet. Oh, I take that back.
But yeah,
we
I
saw
like that.
with the 10s when they ran the board twice.
Yeah.
Good flop for Dan. Okay flop. Mike's still trying to steal a pot here with Queen 8.
He
We're surely getting
he is
called
the,
by Dan
He is
here.
the pre-flop opener. He just decided to open the Queen 8 of Hearts under the gun. Dan's the nut flush draw out of the small blind is going to put a little just check call here.
Two of spades on the turn. Nope.
I went out for breakfast today, and I had pancakes, and it's just like, I'm just too old to eat pancakes. You know,
No, stop, tell
I had
that.
to go home and lay down for like an hour afterwards. Like,
No, pancakes are my
I remember
favorite
when I
food
could
group.
eat, like,
Don't do that.
pancakes and like not a care in the world.
No, you can't be on the stream anymore, man.
Although
You're
this
too
morning
old to
I
eat
like-
pancakes.
Some friends were in town this week.
You're too old to eat Lego waffles, but not pancakes.
Feel great. I feel great about
Pizza I could still eat.
Yeah,
Pizza's
usually
fine.
I feel really sweet.
But just like pancakes.
There's nothing better than hearing these late
Have to
20
lay
and early
down,
30-year-old
like, I
guys
can't
talking
take
about,
it.
oh, I can't eat this like I used to.
My pancake eating
All
days
down
Just
are
behind
behind
wait.
me.
here, Mike. Is, you know,
I love
You've been working
pancakes with
out,
peanut
too,
butter
you
and
can't do
syrup.
you're in trouble.
Mike B's bluff got through.
Yeah, fire 3 barrels at it. That'll get it done.
If you want to be here on the live stream, our next game is the 19th and 20th of November, 2550. All you got to do is hit our wonderful producer, Harry Corvasi, up at Bellagio Poker on Twitch. You don't want to give
On
the email
Twitter.
address. You don't Twitter.
That's good.
You don't want to give the email address. You don't like that.
It's fine. I mean, honestly, I think 4 of the folks in this lineup today got to us by email.
All right. So the email is
poker@BellagioResort.com.
not resorts, resort, one singular, not plural. Watt
this
Breed
wouldn't-
2015. We appreciate you sitting at the airport waiting for a plane and watching us. That shows dedication.
Apparently, he's a friend of the 3-seat, our Australian Scott, Mr. Kirk. So this is an interesting one. Michael decides to open a second pot early again. Mike threes it to 100 even, and the next seat over is Joe with the 2 red jacks. Doesn't get the most favorable of flops here for a heads up.
But he does got a gut shot. Maybe Mike will check behind him. Probably not. Oh, he does check. It's one of those hands where Mike has a monster, nothing at all. Two people folded Jack 10 on, or Queen Jack on this
here.
flop.
Yeah,
flop
that's funny.
The original raiser, Mike B.
Yeah, and then Mr. Kirk in the 3-seed also lets go of the Queen Jack to the open 3-bet flat call.
Bree says him and Duncan are going to go play Pai Gow. Everybody's favorite drinking game in Vegas, right?
Top 3 for sure.
All right, we're even.
$500 overbet here on the turn is going to get the job done against the 2 red jacks.
I got to believe that Mike had a monster there.
It's an interesting spot to not c-bet into a single opponent.
Tell you later.
That's why I believe he had a monster. Because why would he there? You know,
Queen Jack.
Both of us.
Big line.
That is true. They both had Queen Jack.
Money says you didn't mean to put 500 out there as well.
Mr. Del Vecchio with the 2 sevens.
That's probably the
That was
most
nearly a
interesting
$400
card we've played all day.
Raise. Standard.
I kind of wanted one of these times just run my cards over someone else's. Yeah. See what they do.
I'd like to talk to Joe about why he called Ron with those 10s there. That was I thought Ron played that hand masterfully.
Here comes the 3-bet into 3 opponents plus a $10 blind.
Maybe he has a Pai Gow hand.
Nice little squeeze opportunity here.
Mike's coming along with the 7s, which is going to give Dan pot odds probably to get in here.
Might we be seeing a 4-bet here?
I think the problem is if you don't 4-bet, then you're going to allow. Yeah, there you go. No, it's just a call.
That's a raise.
Oh,
that's
okay.
a purple chip. That's
Yeah.
600 and some odd dollars. This is the second time we've seen this exact same dynamic where a guy flats the open, it gets 3'd behind him and called, and then
Makes a big re-raise.
the back raise comes in.
Hey, did you ever play like GDR or anything?
Mildly fancy play here on the Bellagio Pots live stream.
It's the same game. It's the same 2-5.
$630.
Just way better. Raise all in.
5-bet all in.
So many things Duncan has
Dan
ace
calls
queen.
immediately. Twice is the question.
2 boards.
Twice is the agreement.
That's the worst.
That was Mike D folded, and he would have he has a full house there on that first board. 7's full of 8s.
Flop.
What's the river card on the first board?
Ace of diamonds.
And Mikey D scoops the pot.
He does it. Duncan does have ace queen.
Ace king, ace queen.
Wow.
Ace king against ace queen. Is that what
Yeah.
it is?
He announces that
That's a very aggressive play. And yeah, Mike D would have scooped both hands. Pair of 7s would have been good on the bottom, 7's full on the top. Yeah, if he wasn't so worried about eating pancakes, he would have sniffed that one out and made the call. That's a big pot for ace king, ace queen, right?
Yeah.
Pre-flop.
Although we were discussing before the stream went live, one of the shows we had from last season where Mike Del Vecchio got to make his claim of losing several $1,000s. He plays a pre-flop all-in pot with Mark Ioli. The
Players
ace
checks, table
king
9.
against the king-queen
Ace
suited.
queen versus king queen.
It's ace queen.
Ace queen.
Yeah,
king queen.
where it was a very similar spot where there was a 5-bet back raise shove, And Del Vecchio just calls it off with the king, queen, and clubs with the comment of, this one will be good for the live stream.
Right. Dennis Segura, who was on that stream, will be here tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, Dennis kept getting cooler than that stream.
Oh, yeah.
Another one, the unfortunate ones on the Bellagio plot stream.
He's the one that found a way to put the money in with 7 Deuce with the 7 Deuce game overlay.
Yeah, yes, against Danielle Anderson with that, which she had the ace king. We're all rooting for that.
Yeah. Hey, hear that one? 1-3 PLO, it sounds.
Race to 30.
Deja
Mikey
vu
D's at
for
7.
Mikey D. 2 red 7s, exact same hand, back to back.
Not going to get the same favorable flop. I have a habit of when I pick up the same pocket pair as before.
So whatever you're about to say is going to be able to be titled as superstitious.
You're probably right. Like if it would have made us, like if I made a set with the first time, I'm probably folding it the second time, like or vice versa.
That's definitively superstitious, young man.
I have like 3 superstitions in poker.
Ace 7 against the 2 7s.
Explains why you couldn't get a set there.
But 7's good, twice in a row.
Who plays tonight? Football.
It's Raiders, Dolphins.
Hasn't started yet, has it?
Yeah.
Started already.
Game's almost over, Mike.
Probably halftime.
Duncan and I may have to find $1 blackjack now. The night is young. What, Bry? Get that back and then some. Open to 40 from young Mr. Macy here in the cutoff. Duncan getting his kids out of the street here before he lays down the 10-5 off on the button. Young Mr. Beasley deciding to come along. King, queen, double suited. Ron coming along as well. Two checks to Michael here. Probably going to put the C-bet into the pair of opponents.
Has to.
Expected value. My name's John Harden. I'm here with my co-host Dallas Scott. C-bet picks it up 3 ways.
Watt Bree 2015. I actually agree with you. I am a run it once or 3 times, guys. I don't like to run it twice. I just feel like somebody has to lose or somebody has to win. What's the point of playing if somebody's not winning and losing?
Nothing going bigger than about 10, 20, 40 tonight, I believe.
Yeah, no action in Bobby.
Pretty soon, though, with our 5-diamond tournament, we get a bigger game coming into town.
We generally get 3 big games.
Yeah, I got some messages in this last week from a couple guys looking to play the 15 and 3,000-ish mixed game.
There'll probably be
seats available. Game so good you can hardly beat it.
There's probably going to be a 200, 400 mixed game in there.
Oh, absolutely.
And probably some type of PLO, 5100 PLO game or something. Oh, there's Leslie, our super producer tonight.
Super producer.
Yeah. I'm just, giving her some compliments because we're playing Chinese, and I was down 183 points to her, and now I'm leading by 17.
Couldn't resist, could
no, I
you?
could. I had to take a shot. I've been waiting all night for that one.
I had one trip to London in my life. I played 4 sessions of poker. I lost about 20 pounds in 4 sessions. It was like 10, 20 pounds.
It's an interesting experience getting able to be in the room when those big mixed games go off, for sure. A lot of the grievances they have are the same as other people, though.
hated it so much.
They bitch and moan about the not being able to cover the 3.5-point spread. You hear that one a lot.
There's a lot of sports betting. There's a lot of sports betting conversations.
Oh
going on
yeah,
in
it's
that game. I would bet that's probably 60% of the conversation in that game.
some days.
The other
absolutely.
days, sometimes there's investments things. Like I always listen. I shut up and listen to the investment advice. You know what I mean? Then I go and do my research. I made some money off those guys.
Yeah. Michael's opened the king 10 suited here and flopped the flush draw against the single defender out of the $10 blind of Dan. Michael probably going to barrel here.
Take it. Spend it wisely. Spend it wisely. Sorry.
Dan, have you hit the bad beat jackpot yet?
Have I hit it yet? Yeah, twice. Twice yesterday.
Nice. Twice today.
I recorded a video and I thought,
Well
"Fuck it,
done.
I'll come play some 5-10.
You might be one of the luckiest guys in the world.
Second time. First
Yeah.
time, like,
Years ago when I used to play at Canterbury Park, there was a thing where it seemed
though I
like
like you, I
it was a
love
tradition that whoever won the bad beat one day would win the next one. Like it went off for like 4 or 5 players like that. I finally hit the bad beat. I turned down a seat change to another table, and the guy who sits in my seat makes a royal against quad jacks.
That's strong.
So I would have been like the 5th or the 6th person in a row to do it. I gave up the seat.
Our young Englishman in the 9 seed here has been relatively active early on here. It's gone open call, and he elects to put the 3-bet in out of the second $5 blind, and it looks like he's just going to pick it up. Daniel's a familiar guy to me. We've been friendly for a couple years. He lives in London proper. Well, my wife and I were over there a couple years ago. He was a gracious tour guide to us, pro bono as well.
Nice.
Just out of the goodness of his heart.
Did you at least buy him lunch?
Oh,
Fish and chips?
a couple times, couple beers. Never the fish and chips, though.
How do you go to London and not have the fish and chips?
Oh, we had fish and chips,
Oh.
just not with him.
Oh, okay.
How do you take the guy who lives in London to go eat fish and chips?
Where does the guy who lives in London go? Where does he go to eat?
He took us to a neat little place that was right in the shadow of the King's Cross station. Just kind of a trendy Italian tapas kind of place. We had some pizza. We had some various other stuff. It was very good. But he definitely knows his way around real well and loves to live there and loves to represent his city. He had a good summer last summer. One of the last tournaments at the Venetian. He played a $600 buy-in tournament, made the final table. They start talking deal. He says, I'll listen to whatever proposal you guys have. They come up with a proposal. He passes. Another proposal. He passes. They get 6-handed. They make another proposal. He says, you know what, I'm going to have to win this one outright, and proceeds to do so for about 90 dimes.
I'm not against chopping, but what I won't do is argue about a chop. We'll have a discussion one time. If we don't agree, then I'm done with it. Like I'm not going to have 14 discussions about a chop.
Yeah, fair. At some point, you're just allowing a player to browbeat another.
Right, and it just becomes ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, and I have no problem being the guy that says, "Hey, I'm not chopping."
So Dan check called off third in on this flop of king trait deuce against top pair in the nut flush draw.
Daffodil 7, I believe Chrissy is next to them. I believe she's on deck. Michael's flush does not get there.
King's rate to be the best hand here for Michael in the 2 seed, especially if Dan is going to check a third time, which he does. Michael just eager to get it to showdown. Michael in the 4, knowing this is the only way he can win the pot's
We're just going to call
barrel
Michael
off
Macy,
here.
Macy for the rest
Yeah,
of
all right, you got it. We got Macy, Del Vecchio, and Michael B in the 4 hole.
Is Daffodil 7 like Chrissy's sister or something?
Maybe they're just a botanist.
Boo.
Dan's got the Jack-9 here. Oh, wow. Jack-9 is spades. Now, here's the thing. He might manage to win this pot because the kings with a 7 is a relatively tough overcall to make.
If Dan calls, Michael Macy will fold.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's an exceptionally difficult overcall.
Right.
And that's how you pick one up with the second best hand right there. Obviously, Michael B with the assist to let Dan win it with second pair there. Crisis averted. The spade doesn't come off for sure. Perfect run out, perfect series of bets to let Dan win that one with a pair of jacks.
It's hard for Macy to call there once he gets called.
Yeah, the overcall in that spot with a raggedy little king is a
But if
tough one.
if Dan gets out of the way, I think he's got to believe the king is good.
Oh, 100% he's calling. Daffodils from the mean streets of the UP, apparently.
That looked like, what is that? Oh, I felt like we had a straddle or something going on there. Somebody buy the button or come back?
No, this is
close
just
to
three
blinds?
blind. Three
There's
blinds
money in the middle there. Oh, it was a missed blind, and somebody came back.
Ah, okay.
Mikey D. Mr. Del Vecchio's raising with King Jack of Diamonds. Pretty standard, first person in the pot. And he's going to pick it up.
Mike gets 5 10, right? 5, 5, 10?
Yeah, did I put out 10?
I think I put out 10. Here's my 40. His 10, his 10, his 20.
Thank you.
Mr. Del Vecchio being an honest poker player, saying, hey, I owe you $5 change.
I like to earn it. I don't like to steal it.
Likes to earn it, not steal
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I'd be coming after you for that $5. after
Honor
I saw
among
that.
thieves,
Yes.
so to speak.
I think that's not bad.
Uh-oh, somebody messed with our cameras again. Our camera producer, Mr. Jason's getting upset
I
in there.
love Mike's money, but I like to earn it the old-fashioned way by bluffing it.
There we go.
It seems
Like I said, honor among thieves.
almost every time I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. And I fold.
I tried to bluff. I told you the story. I tried to
Never
bluff
again.
Mr. Macy's girlfriend, Marley, who's been on the stream a couple times.
Yeah.
I tried to bluff her out of a 2K pot and
Especially not dancing.
hit a 4-outer to win. Got lucky.
Oh, I thought you were telling me that you got the bluff through. You didn't tell me.
No.
You know,
I was.
you just had to resort to the old get there plan.
That's right. Queen Jack of Hearts versus her Ace 6 of Hearts for nut flush draw and open end straight draw. I'm drawing to the Queen or the Jack, and I hit the Queen on the river.
All right.
Nice 2K pot. I thought I had 13 ounce. I had 4.
Yeah, well, you had more than 0,
Right.
and that's all that mattered. I mean,
That would have been.
Tried to pull the semi-bluff bluff off.
I'd probably call fucking Iowa.
I'm already here.
Des Moines Mike.
That actually might have been the highlight of my playing week because I've been even all the rest of the week since then.
yeah.
I think even might be worse than losing.
Okay, you know,
I know monetarily
There's
it's not,
another
but
one
the
I'm not
feeling of just being even every day is just.
No. It's the way you end up at even that matters. If you go from stuck
To even,
a
then
barrel,
you're right.
a wheelbarrow full to winning $1, that feels like the biggest win of your
Fair
life.
enough. Well, see, I haven't been stuck this week. I just haven't been winning this week. You
Yeah,
know, you win a small
to,
pot, lose a small pot, win a small pot,
I
lose
like
a small
to
pot.
start from way behind. Personally, that's just me.
That's when you got them right where you want them, right?
We got a spadeless trio of hands here on the 8-4 deuce of spades.
Well, we
flop.
got 2 gut shots.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ace. I thought that was ace of clubs. It's ace of spades.
This is gonna be tough to get $1 into this pot multi-way. I think we're gonna have a bunch of knuckles here and a showdown for the pair of 6s.
No, because Mike Del Vecchio. Oh, he made a 6. He didn't make a straight. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought he made the straight. I thought he had 7-5. It's a huge bet.
This is the
very, wow.
This is the second time he's done this where he's almost clean doubled the size of the pot in a relatively small
Dan
pot.
did that the last time. It wasn't Del Vecchio. It was
it?
Dan who did that. Yeah.
He bet like 500 into like 210 or something.
Yeah. This is Del Vecchio. And the weird thing is, like, normally this polarizes your hand, but his hand isn't really polarized here. It's very well hidden.
That's the most bizarre value bet
So you didn't do anything.
We talked about it before. What is the objective to get
I'm
value
gonna
out of the
have to-
hand, or is the objective to make everybody else fold?
I think there might be some meta game. I need to have people see me play this pot this bizarrely to throw them for a loop when I'm, playing in the bigger game later on, kind of a thing. Because that's a wonky bet. Is the only way I can describe that one.
Yeah, I didn't really get any.
No,
Claustrophobic
takes-
and boring.
It honestly takes time. It's like
I can see that. I can
the
see
first
that.
time I went, it was really uncomfortable. The second time I went was a much better experience.
What are
Third
they
time I
talking
went was a
about?
better experience.
That's like anal.
I don't even want to get in the conversation when it ends like that.
Yes.
Claustrophobic and boring. Duncan going to slow down a little bit after his snake bet experience with the ace-queen, just flatting his button with the jack-10 off where a 3-bet might have been in order. Can't hate the just flat call on the button with just about any 2 cards, though. Going to go off 3 ways here. So we're going to have a gutter versus a pair versus 2 naked little overcards here. Pair of backdoor diamond draws with the naked queen and jack of diamonds. 2 checks to Duncan with the straight draw. He's going to barrel.
Why not? Apparently nobody else has anything. That's why they checked.
Check and fold. Well. What's this?
This game has actually had quite a bit of action now. We've seen some very big pots. We've seen a few bluffs, some bluff catchers.
I got to be honest.
Just poker.
Just rooting for maximum pain. On some level, I do enjoy seeing 2 pots get all the money in pre, run it twice, and have a single winner for both runouts.
That's why you got to run it 3 times.
There's like 2 tables area over there.
Andres raises the 30 with the king-queen offsuit.
Michael on the button.
Standard call with the suited ace.
Discipline fold from the ace tray offsuit.
Oh, Ron's going to come along with the king 7.
Ron going to splash a little here.
It's only $30. He hasn't played a hand in a while. If you get a chance, check out Ron's new venture, Square Panda. Just Google it. It's an amazing program. I feel like Ron's going to be a billionaire in a couple years because of this thing.
Got a 70.
6 deuce flop. Andres is going to continuation bet and win the pot. See, all you have to do in this game is bet and you will win.
Real unusual finding this cookie back there. Guys, if you'll excuse me for a minute, I just found dinner.
Chocolate chip cookies. You know it's the best chocolate chip cookies in the world?
In-room dining at the Bellagio.
You are right. I forgot all about those.
Those are unbelievable.
With the chocolate ice cream is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a little piece of advice. If and when you show up in the Bellagio Poker Room, we let you order from the in-room dining menu. One of the things that we offer are cookies. We got chocolate chip, we got oatmeal raisin, we got some kind of peanut butter. You order the chocolate chip cookies. You ask them to warm them up. And then the problem is that you
only get 2 with the order.
You only get 2 for the order, and you have now summarily ruined chocolate chip cookies for the rest of your life.
They are pretty good.
That good.
And they're a nice size cookie too. Like they're about almost the size of the plate.
I could only eat 8 of them.
Yeah. No, AM PM outside of here has the best. Like they have really good cookies. I buy. That's my daily treat. 3 for $99. Mr. Mace is going to win another pot. He's doing well here today. I'm rooting for Michael just because of his past misfortunes.
I hope he's not going to stack it up and then stuff it off to, the one guy at the table that has him covered at that point.
You know what I haven't noticed tonight? I haven't noticed Mr. Macy having any alcoholic beverages.
He's got a beer behind him.
For a while, I went to Taiwan, Macau, Barcelona, Taiwan and back in town. So I was down for like 5 weeks straight. Then I went to Borgata. Now I've been playing again for the past like 2 weeks or so. But I've been coming in at night.
Mike Del Vecchio took his $285,000 he won on the World Poker Tour Championship up in Thunder Valley and went on a trip around the world. I think that's a great use of $285,000.
Solid plan. Yeah. I can't think of a better one.
I love travel. Every year I take my kids on one trip, you know. We have one rule, eat as much food as you possibly can. Rule number 2 is you can't eat any place that you can eat at home.
What did you hate about it?
Man,
It was like
depending on where you're at, that might be a tough bargain.
and just strip away
I like it, though.
You got to find hole-in-the-wall places, local spots. Yeah, just
take away everything besides
Mr. Del Vecchio has got a weak
Nut
flush draw here.
He's got the nut flush draw as compared to as far as his components are.
Joe does have the
opponents
best
are
hand
concerned.
here.
Man, I'm talking like Dallas Scott all of a sudden.
It's amazing what a chocolate chip cookie will do for you.
1 week or 2 weeks, and I stayed in an apartment for a couple weeks. And I was also there like when the games were bad
Pair
too. So
of
like tournament
kings.
series and stuff like that.
Good
But,
enough.
I feel like I'll end up going back there as like an excuse to go back to Asia and like do fun things in Asia and be like, okay, like I'll play in Macau for 2 weeks, and then I'll go to Thailand and I'll do something else. Like
Everybody's favorite destination, Thailand.
Mikey is not alone in this this mental write-off of let me go to Macau for 8 minutes so I can travel China for the rest
like
of
a lot of
the
the
season.
really big games are. But I'm not trying to play the
It is now the big games being Manila now.
yeah.
Is it the min buying in the big game is $2 million?
I'm not trying to play
Yeah,
the
but
side.
it's 2 million Hong Kong dollars, which is about 250,000.
Oh,
I mean,
You
I
could
love
do well.
to.
One good session.
so it's not bigger than Bobby's Room or Ivy's Room.
I mean, it's one like they the biggest no limit game they get with regularity is 2,000, 5,000, which puts it up there, but definitely not the biggest as far as big.
That's
bet
like
games
200,
go.
500, right? If 250 is about
2,000, 5,000, it's like 4 and 800-ish.
I think that's when it's going to start.
Our friends over at Aria, they regularly run a
I mean, I'm not.
300, 600 no limit game or 600, 1,200 no limit game.
They
depending on
run,
the game.
yeah, they run 3-6, 3-6, 12.
That's a big game.
Properly.
The amount of money that's on that table is could feed 4 countries in Africa for a long time. Ron's on the butt when 9's here trying to decide what he wants to do. Or is that his money? That's not, okay, that's not Dan's money, that's Ron's
Yeah, it's
money.
Ron's money. It went, Joe fired with top pair, and Ron called next then. I mean, pocket
It's a
nines,
stand- yeah, it's a
nines
stand-
rate
10
to be the best
best hand,
hand on
right?
this pot, especially when you manage to get it to go fold with the two guys behind you. Neither one of these two is the pre-flop opener. So when it checks the top pair, the guy declines the C-bet. Obviously, you're going to put a bet in with only the button behind you. Button calls you. Still got 10s with the king. Discipline
says
lay
no
down
more.
from Ron here. Not the greatest of turn cards.
No.
Ace jack,
He might
king
have
jack
saved.
of clubs.
Might have saved Ron some money. Anything else, he might be pilling this still, thinking that 9's the best hand. Again, if you want to be on the stream, hit us on Twitter at Bellagio Poker or poker at BellagioResort.com is our email address. Harry Corvasi, our producer, will get back to you. Our next stream is November 19th and 20th. It's 2550. No Limit Hold'em. I know we have Elliot Lesra, Eric Worre, Ron Curry.
Let me see who else we got lined up real quick. Got a couple names you might be familiar with. David Fuss, previous guy who joined us on the stream. Josh Seeley played in our 10-20-40 no limit game. Matt Affleck of World Series of Poker fame. Our glorious leader here in the poker room, Mr. Craig Lump, showed me a YouTube video of him, and I had forgotten about this, where with like 12 people left in the main event, he got all the money in with one street to go with the 2 aces
and
against
Duhamel,
the 2 jacks
yeah,
of Josh Duhamel.
River the Straight.
Yeah, just banked it off.
I was watching some previous coverage. I don't know which is the worst beat there. The him with the aces versus the jacks. I believe it was the same year that Joseph Chong got it all in with aces against a six. There was a six, like on a 6-5-5
Just
board.
a dangling pair of sixes?
The guy had like 7-6 on a 6-5-5 board and caught the runner straight.
Hey.
Luckily for Joseph, he had him covered by 2-1 or better, but it was a huge, at that point in the tournament, there was a lot of chips. And they both ended up making the final table, and Joseph got the better of him there. But like, that was
full Andres on the button here. Macy puts the 3-bet in, and right behind him,
I would like to ask Stevie Wonder how
across,
he knows what the action's like if he's blind.
our man from across the Pacific putting the cold 4-bet in with the 2 aces. Andres gets out of the way, and Michael in a tough spot here, probably just gonna surrender. I can't imagine Duncan's too upset with winning the minimum here after the last run out he received. Although, I'm pretty sure he was confident he had the best hand this go around.
You think aces might be the best hand pre-flop?
For the time being.
And there's one way to make sure. You just don't let him see the flop.
Yeah. Now, here's an interesting argument for the LA action versus Vegas action. You know how many people are in the metro area of Las Vegas?
Oh, less than 2 million.
Yeah, it's like 1.8, 1.9 million. You add 2 million tourists.
You want your hand?
That's probably a fair guess.
Right.
So we're talking ballpark of 4 million people.
Right.
How many people are in the metro area of Los Angeles that are in driving distance to the casino? Yeah, 15, 16 million. You know, just by sheer volume of people. You know.
No, it's
probably more games. More games, therefore one's going to be good. Rate to be a better game every once in a blue moon. Gutter, top pair, and the ace-9 in the cutoff.
Oh, 2 gutters.
Andres is the opener here.
Andres does not want to make it straight. No, he's got ace-9, I'm sorry. Yeah, 8's good for him.
Yeah, can't be real happy about it, though. 2 checks to him, and he's going to put the C-bet in. Michael, that looks like a check raise to me.
I like that check raise.
I don't know if it is, though. I was wrong. Check call by 2 opponents. Andres in trouble here now.
It's a bad card for everybody except for Michael B.
Del Vecchio can't be too upset with it. He's drawn to the nuts suddenly.
Yeah, but he went from having the best hand to the one. That's a really bad card.
Huh. Michael just
I think he has to
knuckles
bet.
the stone nuts right there.
He has to bet there.
Either one of his two opponents can bet fold this pretty comfortably.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Who wants to win, guys?
Give me the money.
Yeah, like he's got to. I don't know that Del Vecchio pays him off with the 2 pair there, but
I think he's right to give these guys rope to try and rob.
I don't feel like they've.
The problem, honestly, in this spot is that both of his opponents had too much. If one of his opponents there has 9 high, he might be doing the right thing by checking there and.
That's the thing is they both have hands that have showdown value.
It's just
there's no reason for them to put a bet in there because they could win on showdown.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for both of your opponents. The worst hand in a 3-way pot would be top pair.
Right.
You know, so. You actually want your opponent to have less.
I think you have to bet there and hope that somebody is trying to find a.
I don't know if he gets a call there from either opponent, though. That's the problem. It's a pretty strong bet of the 2 opponents that have both clearly shown interest in the run out as represented. I think he wins exactly the same amount either way, honestly.
Everywhere in Vegas.
Well, we will never know.
In LA,
Does Ron put the live straddle in here?
I literally sometimes go there just to
Yeah.
play on massage and play poker.
Live 20 on in the 8 seat from Ron here is just going to let it go to the complete and then raise from Joe with the suited ace in the 7. On to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, LA or
I don't think I've ever played Hold'em in LA. I think I've only played mixed games.
You've never played Hold'em in Los Angeles?
I don't think so. I think I've always only
You're doing
played
yourself a mild disservice, if I do say so myself.
I've got
some rather recent positive memories, as I've told you, but there's some great games out there.
Yeah.
I played at Pechanga near San Diego.
Yeah.
I played by accident.
You played No Limit Hold'em by accident there? I've never. No, that's not true. I messed around in the smallest no limit game you can play in California, but outside of that, I've never taken a hand in no limit hold'em in a cash game out there. I've played my fair share of limit hold'em in a couple establishments around there, though.
No, I asked. Probably one of the biggest cash pots I ever won. I played one hand and left the table.
I bet they loved you for that one.
Oh, they hated me. I asked the
This is blind versus blind. Mikey just completed and flopped a pair, and after Joe raises, got Ron out of the way, their heads up. Mikey's checked the pair twice here to the pre-flop opener of Joe. 80 and a call.
Mike's got to believe in 8's good here.
Yeah, Mike's happy to just call down here. Question is, does Joe find a way to fire another barrel here?
Check.
Mike wins the parade. So I walk into Pechanga, and this is back like years ago. This is probably 2008. I didn't know that there was anything outside of like 5, 10, 25, 50 no limit hold'em. I didn't know places played weird numbers like 40, 80 no limit, 20, 40 no limits.
Yeah.
So I went and I asked the lady what was the highest limit game they have. She proceeded to tell me it was 40, 80.
Oh my goodness.
So I buy in for 5K. I go sit the 40, 80 game.
Little did you know you were in the game for the minimum.
Yes, it's bad because I wait for the big blind. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just getting my headphones set up so I can listen to my music or whatever.
Yeah.
I finally take the big blind. It's raised and 3-bet in front of me, but the 3-bet is like 240, and I'm like, wait a minute. How does he get to 240? It's a 40-80 game. It's got to be.
You think it's 40-80 blinds and you're playing 81-60 somehow?
Yeah. No, it's 40-80 no limit.
Oops.
I look down at the Miracle 2 aces at the big blind. Do I just walk away from the table or do I ship here? Like, what? I don't know what to do. Like, it's such a ridiculous thing.
I mean, if it was a limit game, were you willing to lose the buy-in?
Yeah.
Put it in the middle?
Yeah. I ship with the 2 aces, just trying to take down the little $400 in the pot. I get called in 2 spots.
Wow.
Run it twice, and I win both.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to have a dealer change here.
I beat Ace, King, and Jacks on 2 different boards. Got up and left with my 15 grand. Minus the 100 I tipped the dealer. Beautiful shot. It's been busy here at the Bellagio lately. If you look around, you see some notable faces from our past streams, like Alex A. there, the clown prince of the Bellagio poker room. He actually told a joke the other day that was actually funny. Mr. Corvasi, we're in our main famous dealer change. I believe Chrissy's coming in for Daffodil by request. How you doing there, Harry?
Oh, I'm doing quite well, Dallas. How you doing?
I'm good. We had you over there doing real work tonight.
Mm-hmm. My associate producer responsibilities.
Yes.
Keeping an eye on chat.
Do we have a Hardini fact today?
Oh God, a Hardini fact. He didn't give me one today. Let's see.
Let's make one up then.
Make up a Hardini fact. All right. Well, some one from the past. Largest tire producer in the United States. You want to venture a guess?
I had a feeling it's not something I would think it is. Like Firestone and Bridgestone.
I'll tell you, it's not something that you would think of normally.
Kumho?
Lego. The Lego company.
Because the Lego tires?
The Lego people, yep. The little Lego tires they manufacture.
Does that count?
It can. I mean, you know. He told me about it one day.
Fastest animal on the planet?
What is it?
Peregrine falcon.
Oh, that's right. Over 200 miles an hour, that thing, right?
I learned that on one of my kids' field trips.
All right, dealer changeover. Here we go. Cards in the air.
As requested, Chrissy.
Skill game, right? Just checking.
Looks like Mr. Macy's not in his seats. Good. He didn't want to play nice. Lots of spades here. Wow. All his straight flush spades are gone.
I'll tell you what, if you did choose to open that 9-7 of spades, looks like you would have got through.
Can I get a water, please?
Oh, nope, ace 10 of diamonds here.
He just Dan just completes with the ace 10 of diamonds. One base for the 9 tray of clubs.
I'll take a Stella. You got me.
Macy would have flopped a flush draw. But we already know that 5 other spades are gone. and Dan's going to just bet the pot here and win the minimum.
Not terribly uncommon to see a limp from the ace 10 of diamonds out of what is effectively the small blind there. It seems like that kind of play is becoming more and more standard.
Yeah, but there was no action in the pot. Like he was the first one in. He would have got the same amount if he raised the way. That way he does risk losing a little bit. He's not going to get married to the hand. At least Dan's not. We know enough about him that he's not going to get married to that hand there. Is Michael raising here with the Jack 8 of spades? Yes.
Yeah.
I like these plays to mix it up. I think you have to do this at sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. You got to play these suited connected hands sometimes.
I know sometimes people on the stream like, well, how do you call that hand with the raise? How do you raise with that hand? Because there's not enough hands, aces and kings and ace kings and ace queens to play.
You got to construct a range a little bit more balanced, and
you got to put your opponents off balance sometimes. You know, when you show a hand like Jack 8 of spades, it'll make you look much more likely to get paid off when you do have a hand, because they're going to think of hands that you played previously.
All right, we got a break in the action here. John's back. I'm going to tap out. Here you go.
Thank you, Harry, for the assist. So it looks like Dan's a big winner for the night so far.
No, it's got to be Joe, right? Joe won that big pot against Ron.
Yeah. I think Joe's winning a couple thousand. I think Dan's winning at least a couple thousand now. The two biggest pots were 10s against the ace king and the ace king against the ace queen.
Yeah, he did. He won that huge pot there.
Fold to Ron here in the cutoff opens to 7 high. Dan with the 2 red 10s right next to him on the button. Good enough for the small 3-bet to $100. Can't imagine Ron's not going to peel here. Heads up. Out of position, be damned.
If I wrote an autobiography, it would be titled Broke Degenerate Achieves Mediocrity.
Broke Degenerate Achieves Mediocrity.
Bestseller.
Yeah, Mike Del Vecchio's been very forthcoming about the fact that he's been broke a couple times before.
Yeah.
Getting in over his head and some things he shouldn't have done. And not having good bankroll management in general.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really write
I think everybody falls into that trap sometimes. Myself included.
That's why we still have jobs.
It's $150 on the piece there after the flop goes check, check. Dan's taking the low variance route of just letting the underpair go. Little did he know.
It was way good.
His opponent was drawn stone dead. On to the next one.
Hope it works. It doesn't help. Hope it works. That's what I do.
Mike Del Vecchio's little bio here, he wanted to make sure that we looked at it a little more carefully this time. I mean, there are some gems on here. First off, when asked what his occupation is, he's now describing himself as a cryptocurrency maverick.
Does that mean he's all in on Bitcoin and Ethereum? Yeah. Or what's the other one? They used to be, they changed the name of it. I don't even know.
Dogecoin. They sponsored a NASCAR team. Joe opens up front here with the King Queen and gets defended by the King Queen. See if somebody manufactures a way to win this one. Duncan on the free roll now with the club turn.
Probably going to get a call here from Duncan, right?
Ethereum Impresario is what my business card says. That's cute. Just a check call from the Queen of Clubs here.
What's the one that used to be Ant Spy or whatever? Like,
huh? No, I have no idea.
I'm going to go check here probably. We're going to chop the spot. Oh, Joe looks like he's going to find another barrel.
Another barrel?
I just said it's just a bet. I know how important it is to be comfortable.
Another little gem from Mikey's bio here. How would you define your poker skill level and style? Simply over the hill. Goes back to the 30-year-old kid saying, "Oh man, I can't eat like I used to."
Right.
I do remember seeing a stand-up comedian one time talking about, you know, when you order pancakes for breakfast, you know, you're basically just admitting to yourself, well, looks like I'm not going to shower or change today, just straight back to bed.
Man,
I still do it to myself, but I kind of appreciate the sentiment.
I could eat pancakes 24/7. In fact, Harry, on the way to the movie night, maybe we should stop at Blueberry Hill or Peppermill and grab some pancakes. I missed that.
Something pretty badass like that.
Oh, you can have a cheat day or a cheat meal. Don't take the whole day, just one cheat meal.
I'm on my cheat decade myself.
Your cheat decade, I love it.
Michael Macy on the button with the King Jack of Spades, opens it up. And it looks like he's going to get defended by the Ace-8 of Diamonds as well as the Ace-8 off, as well as the 10-4 of Diamonds. This is Michael versus Michael versus Michael, what we got here. And we've also got no pair versus Kings. C-Bet probably going to do it here without too much drama. I knew before that flop was taken that a Michael was going to win that one, and I was correct.
Wow, you were so clairvoyant.
We should have had a little more foresight than to put three guys named Mike on the screen.
Whose bright idea was that?
It reminds me of a couple summers ago when the open face action got real big at the World Series of Poker. And I hear the board op calling a new game, and they say, starting a new 25-point open face Chinese game. I've got seats for Sergey, number 6, Pavel, and Sergey, number 7.
That's kind of awesome, right?
Let's
I lost it.
Not this hand, but
delightful.
You'd rather do a bomb pot?
I think bomb pots.
End of the night bomb pots.
Sure, we can do one at the end.
Yeah, I think bomb pots are overrated, to be honest.
Some additional gambling discussion going on here on the
It
live
doesn't
stream.
hold a lot of weight, that's for sure.
Andres opening the ace-9. Michael's next in with the 2 4s, finding the call button.
I think we should create a pit game called Bomb Pots. Where everybody just puts some money in, we run out boards and see what happens.
Top and bottom pair against
you guys
pocket 4s. Andres, a little highly suspect knuckle after the open.
Right, it looks like we got it. You have to show your hand.
Have we seen a massage therapist on the live stream before today?
I don't think so. Is that Desiree?
Anytime you want 7 deuce.
I don't know.
All right.
Looks like
So
Desiree.
starting his hand coming up.
Okay. Playing 7 deuce?
Yes.
Cagey little check on the flop. Mike not falling for it with the pocket 4s on the ace-queen-9 board.
The fans love it, man.
Just going to have to win the minimum. Had a handful of people flop aces up here and get squadoosh for action.
It's kind of hard, right?
Or, or if you get it in on flop, you know, you're not as wise, but it's the first board. All right, we got it.
You get it in free.
Let's go.
So 7 deuces on here. Do we hear a figure?
I did not hear the figure, but Mikey's been trying to get it on all day.
7 deuce. Now it's an open.
$30 open with the mystery hand from Mikey B, and the 3-bet going in from Mikey D. With the ace-10 off. Back to Michael.
And Macy and Mike B. Otherwise, I'm confused. Mike D sounds the same.
Second time he's opened a Jack-9 and gotten 3-bet in about an orbit. This time it's got 2 suits to it instead of just the 1.
Now he's got top pair.
Fortuitous little flop here. Just enough that you know he's going to have to continue. $100 C-bet from Del Vecchio here. Just call, trying to get the showdown as uneventfully as possible.
Del Vecchio.
Here's the problem.
Now, Michael B raising with the Jack-9, which seems to be his thing. I actually like the consistency of this. Years ago, when I was like, oh wow. This is exactly why you like the consistency of it.
Del Vecchio finds a check. Is this plan to just get the showdown here? Is he just going to check call whatever the bet is?
This could be bad for Del Vecchio, though, because he really might think ace-10 is the best hand here.
I mean, granted, the guy's on the button, but he did open the pot.
There's a flush out there which
Just
might save Mike a lot of chips.
Yeah, I just didn't think a raise was ever going in there. Nice little run out for the Jack-9 off.
Wow. 2 years ago when I was first started, I was getting real deep in the tournaments. I was going deep in cashing, but I wasn't making final tables and wasn't winning. And I talked to a couple pros, and they were like, "You're playing too tight here. You need to open up.
Got to rob more."
Yeah, you got to open up your range. And so I'm in a $300 tournament where I'm break, and I'm just like, I got like slightly below average chips. And one of the guy goes, "Here's what I want you to do.
If it folds to you? Oh, okay.
He goes, pick a hand.
Get a green light hand?
The next time it's raised, you 3-bet it, no matter what the hand is." So I have 3 hands now that I do that with all the time. And one of the hand came up, I 3-bet it, and I run into aces and get busted out of the tournament. However, like, it was a great flop for me. I flopped open-ended. Like, it could have been a hand where I just easily doubled up there. So you have to have a little more play than that in your hand. Does Mike B have Jack-9
Mike
again?
B open limp first in the Jack-9 this time. And chain reaction, it goes complete check out of the blinds. Best hand of the bunch is pocket 6s. And then Mike turns top pair. And he's got the only club in the lot. Probably just going to pick it up right here. No drama. And that's how you win the kill button with the Jack-9 off. Man, how many games have they started?
I don't know. It sounds like they're starting another 20-40 or 40-80 limit game.
Yeah.
If you want to play limit poker in Vegas, there's only one place to do it.
Yes, sir. Yesterday we came in, there was a full must move, 1 main game and a list, 40-80 hold'em.
Yeah, but there was 3 20-40s.
It was a weird filter.
Becky's to Budweiser, huh?
Yeah, you know, I need
to crack, isn't it? It's a slippery slope.
need to get back in the country and then, you know, see where we go.
You guys have any?
It's kind of an interesting mix of players because Macy, Del Vecchio,
It's
Corey, they all, and maybe even Daniel Bland, they all know each other. They played a lot of hands together throughout the year.
Keystone, yes.
And now we have 4 guys that, with Dan, Michael B, Duncan, Andres, who they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And they've never seen them other than maybe the stream before.
Ron turns trips here, and he's up against ace high and ace high.
Flop the quads. If you love 20-40, we got the best 20-40 games in the world.
I like Shiner Buck. Yeah.
I've never had that.
I haven't had it long time. It's in Texas. It's like Austin. I think it's Austin, Missouri.
That's unfortunate. Ron's made a big hand twice now and just been up against ace high and king high.
What's with your username? No, there is no blind on the button. There's 3 blinds. 5, 5, 10.
Yeah, it's all up. It's all up front. I know a lot of places, Bay Area specifically, does like 2, 3, 5.
Right.
stuff like that, where
We
the
don't
$2
rate,
is on the button.
And they automatically rate like the $2. We don't do that.
The one place I played in the Bay Area is a $5 rake, and it came out no matter what.
Right. We don't.
So it was 15.30, and it's 5.10.15. That $5 button chip is gone. It's never going into the pot.
Everyone here's
So
invited except for Michael.
Having a shot anyways.
Yes, our W64. Basically, it's an undergun straddle. It's 3, but they're forced. It's 3 blinds.
It's a blind. It's just 3 blinds.
Yeah, I know.
Michael has found an above-average hand here. He's got the ace high.
Wow.
3 aces are out now, including Andres with the ace-9. Somebody folded a ragged ace second in. I think it was Del Vecchio. Andres is going to find a peel here for $30 total, and 3 ways we go. No love.
First one to bet should win this.
Yeah. You sound more Australian than British.
Michael B has not been afraid to continuation bet a hand at all
For some
today.
reason, those two accents I always mix up. I always feel so.
We do allow you to straddle a straddle and straddle a straddle, straddle, and straddle the straddle, straddle, straddle here at the Bellagio. So they could technically make this game 5, 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 163, 20, 640, 1280. Yes, that is allowed.
Close enough.
But we don't allow button straddles in the Bellagio.
Where in the UK are you from?
But you can straddle for $1,280 pre-flop.
400 different accents in London.
I actually saw in a 100-200 game we had here
British accent.
a straddle like that.
Fun discussion about where are you from, what's your accent. He says London, and the response is, well, there's only about 400 different accents in London. True.
What would you
Same
describe
in the
your,
States, right?
Like, what would you describe your accent?
It's the same in the States. To a degree in southern Midwest.
But like those are
Joe's
like,
finding an interesting spot to put a bluff in here after check and turn with in position with King Jack. Letting the flush draw getting it. Let the flush draw get there. Straight draw get there. And rob the ace high of Michael.
Well done.
Manchester, you know, like
Same as like Boston, Rhode Island.
but it's a much greater area that you're traversing to get to those accents.
Whole of Great Britain, the size of New York State.
Like an hour to cross Rhode Island.
It can't take an hour to cross Rhode Island. It's only like 33 square miles, right?
I have no idea.
He's trying to make friendly conversation.
Ron with the ace king once again. And unfortunately, right behind him on the button is Dan with
Harry,
the
can you figure that out for us?
pocket kings.
How many square miles is Rhode Island? I'm just curious now. It's not very big.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 303, something like. It's not very long. Like I've driven across Rhode Island before, and I don't think it takes an hour. Like it's.
Ron deciding to flat call and take a flop out of position with ace king against the 2 kings. C-bet going here. 1,200.
Square miles. Does it tell you distance from east to west? Because north to south is only like.
Square miles is what you asked for, not.
27 miles wide. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
You said square miles.
Yeah. 37 miles wide, so north and south. So either way, it won't take you an hour to drive through the entire state of Rhode Island.
Ron just letting it go here.
That might qualify as a hardened fact, right?
Simple geography? No.
Lego tires.
Yeah.
We did a hardened fact while you were gone.
I gave a hardened fact yesterday. Somebody brought up Ramadan, and I have no clue what time of year it is, but I think it's now-ish. Anyway, so
Harry, can you look that up? When is Ramadan?
Anyway, this is the important part. If you are an observer
Not
of
what is it? When is it?
If you are an observer of the holiday of Ramadan, one of the things you do is you fast from sunup to sundown.
Correct.
Now, there was an issue because the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, There are residential floors that go up well above the 100th floor, and it's high enough. It's high up enough that the sunrise for your unit is earlier. And so they actually appealed to an imam locally, and he made the decision that if you live on the 100th, below the 100th floor, you observe local time. If you live the 100th floor or above, daytime starts 10 minutes earlier, and nighttime is 10 minutes later.
Fair enough, I guess. And Ramadan is May 15th through June 14th.
May and June.
You were so close.
So off.
Could be November.
I don't know. Pretty obvious at this point that it's not a holiday that I'm observing. Should have known better.
Watt Breed 2015, this flight's delayed 3 hours. Don't worry, the casinos don't close. We'll have plenty of action for you when you get here. That's like one of my favorite
here's
questions.
Here's the thing, let that be a lesson to you flying Allegiant.
Right. That's one of my favorite questions when foreign players come to the Bellagio is, what time does a poker room close?
What time's last call?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you just want to start off your trip 3,000 stuck, you could hail a cab from,
from
wherever you are.
Go Uber. It probably only cost you about $1,500.
I saw an Uber from last New Year's. The guy took a picture of his receipt. It was from casino in Reno all the way to Sacramento. Peak pricing.
It's like 180 miles, right?
Yeah.
If you got to get home, you got to get home.
Michael has led here with 4 high and gotten raised by Duncan, who accidentally turned top pair.
Why is okay?
I'll ever pay attention to a game.
Because you know, as Michael must have known that I was about to talk dirty about him because I can't stand the unnecessary tanking.
Like all the time.
Greg Merson is my favorite WSOP champion of all time because he just played the hands. If he tried to bluff and got re-raised, he just mucked.
Fired
Like,
in the muck.
Let's just get on to the next hand.
No balance.
Yeah, no.
Just fire in the muck on to the next.
Yeah.
We're on the clock. Let's go.
But I think it actually scared people when he actually did take a second to think. Because now they're like, oh, he's mucked every hand like instantaneously.
Yeah.
Now he has a hand. Which I think played very well to his advantage. You know, he was allowed to pick up some other bluffs because of that.
There was a spirited discussion on Twitter today about shot clocks in tournaments, and basically they were getting on the World Series of Poker as the last bastion of shot clock-free high roller events. Because pretty much everywhere else has adopted them at this point.
So, you know, I do the PCA tournament in Bahamas every January.
Yeah. 130 miles from Reno to Sacramento. Look at here. 7s against 7s.
And ace queen.
Ace high against ace high.
Should be interesting.
Now, does Mikey find the squeeze here? No. Just 4 ways for $40. They ain't got to find a C-bet here into 3 opponents with third pair effect.
I actually like 7s betting here.
Yeah, Bill Perkins. Bill, right? That's his last name? Or first name? Boycotting high rollers without shot clocks and encouraging others to join.
I'm gonna tell you a story about the story I was about to tell us about Bill Perkins.
Yeah. Is it about the lunges with Antonio?
No. That was the year before.
Okay.
But
was that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Checks all the way through twice. Board pair.
I have the nut high card.
Sevens are chopping.
I did not think the 2 7s were going to find a way to get the showdown. Guerrero, though, that's not peak pricing. This was New Year's Eve that we're talking about.
So we're at the PCA last year.
Okay.
We run 7 high roller events. 6 of them have shot clocks, 1 does not. Same exact structure for all the tournaments.
Just so one guy can feel like he got his money's worth? Like, what's...
Because here's what happened.
Did they misclick the structure sheet?
The one that had no shot clock was actually a scheduled event.
Okay.
Then the high limit players said, we want to...
impromptu.
Right.
Okay.
They came in and said, hey, we want to play more of these events. Let's add a shot clock. And Bill Perkins was the guy who said, that's fine, but we need a shot clock on this because, whatever. So they play 7 total events. 6 of them have shot clocks. The one that doesn't have a shot clock lasts longer than 2 of the other events.
Combined?
Yeah, same exact structure, same half hour, same hour levels, same everything.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. And the unnecessary tanking and the one without the shot clock, like you just want to get up around the table and play duck, duck, goose with all their heads and just slap them all in the head. It's just ridiculous. Let's just play and keep going with it. Like,
it's a big part of the reason I have played substantially smaller volume of no limit hold'em tournaments in the last 3 years or so. Well, that and everybody got better but me.
All right.
But like I used to genuinely enjoy playing no limit hold'em tournaments, and my interest in those have waned. Although one of the last series I went to, was.
I don't think she has kids. I'm just saying.
Anyway, very much enjoyed the last little tournament series I went to. Harry's a big fan of the same crew.
Is that the Reno? Run It Up?
Yeah, the Run It Up crew. They run a good show, even though they don't have a shot clock.
We have 2 shot clock events and our 5 diamond, which starts November 24th.
Just 2? I thought we were doing.
We have 2.
3 high rollers, aren't we?
Oh, the high rollers are 7. No, we have 4 high rollers, but
so in addition to the 4 high rollers with a shot clock,
clock,
we're doing 2 shot clock events in the realm of on the planet for buy-in.
Correct.
Right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're 1,500, I believe. Yeah, 1,500 scrolling on the screen now. I believe it's event number 3 and event number 11.
Pair of deuces, pair of trays, and open-ended for Michael, and somehow we've gotten to a turn with only $130 in the middle. 3 checks once again. Pair of fours
is going to win this spot.
Somehow finds a way to be the best hand. Michael,
somebody else needs to bet.
When Michael gets the showdown here, he's going to wish he put a semi-bluff in. Young Michael Macy having a slightly better day. Now, Del Vecchio trying to brag that he, lost thousands of dollars.
Macy, I think.
Macy's kind of relative legitimate series of hands. Del Vecchio just kind of like leveled himself.
But Macy's like the biggest loser on this. I believe Macy's the biggest loser on the.
For the 5-10 games, I just want to know who lost what in the 10, 20, 40 games that we've done so far. Because we had, Eli won that one pot that was what?
Well, he won
30?
like 20,000 for the day. He bluffed off. Remember, he bluffed off like 7,000
very first hand,
very early, and then he went on a tear and just picked up like $18,000 or $20,000.
Interesting dynamic is developing here, where the 3-bet volume has gone out the window here. It's basically
a lot
just
of
been
forward
flat
player
calls.
flops.
Yeah, allowing things like Ron with the queen 5 of diamonds in the blinds to turn the flush draw on a 4-way pot.
How do Andres and Michael not call here? You got to think an ace is good, right? I mean, maybe not, because 10 is legitimately checked around on the flop.
Ron could have missed
there's
the
no
check
flush
raise.
draw. Yeah, there's no flush draw there.
Now, being the 3rd one in with aces with the 9, slightly tougher scenario. But
I feel like this should be a raise or fold spot there for him to be the 3rd one.
I don't know if you want to blow the pot up.
Bingo.
With the,
that's why it's got to be really full. Because he just cost himself the pot.
Yeah. 250.
Into a 360 pot. I like that bet sizing.
I can't imagine he gets called by both punters here. I think whoever elects to call is a spot where Andres might save Michael some money by deciding to put the hero call in with one opponent behind.
just like representing the Spearman Rhino at the.
No, sir.
Spearman Rhino, for those of you who don't know, is a great club here in Las Vegas.
Taco Tuesday?
You know, it's a.
No,
I didn't realize how big a chain it is.
Okay.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, I just realized that like last year. I thought it was an original thing here, but I think this is the first. I believe. I might be wrong.
They have like a deep house night.
Andres finds a
I actually
fold.
really hate that night.
Okay.
Just because every time I go in, I try to get dinner, and then it's so fucking loud. in
Yeah,
there
yeah.
that I can't.
It's like it's a party. You know, it's not like it's not dinner time.
For sure.
Wow, they both find the
But
fold there.
Like I really like deep house music, and there's like.
I mean, you specifically have to put Ron on the flush draw, though, right? If you call the flop or the turn,
It's a weird thing.
but then why are you calling the turn?
Thing they have like people eating and
Yeah,
then, like
yeah.
one little like dance
That's
floor
actually a
and,
question.
like side thing. You know, I mean.
But yeah, I always have a lot of fun there.
If you're calling,
Yeah, there's a rhino in London. There's 2 rhinos in LA.
is there one in Atlanta?
No, not that I'm aware of. They had what was the one that got in all the trouble back in the day? The Gold Club. You ever remember that drama that came up?
Yes. Feels so good to see red chips. Thank God. Cool jacket. Those are orange chips. Those are $10 chips. Those are not.
Well, I think he means relative to the yellow $5 chips of certain
Oh.
other streams.
They have yellow $5 chips.
All the chips, all the $5 chips in California are yellow. It goes blue, yellow. The $25 chips are purple most everywhere. The $100 chips are white.
I couldn't play there.
It's really weird.
Like $1 chips are either blue or white. That's
Fine.
should be universal.
Fine.
$5 chips are red.
Yeah.
Quarters are green.
Red,
Blacks,
green, black, purple,
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
Done. Yeah, their $1,000 chips are like baby blue. I think most everywhere.
See, I'd be betting.
It's
$2,000.
it's a horror show.
I hate when I go places and play poker tournaments and the colors are wrong.
Yeah.
I was trying to produce for a little bit, but.
Michael B is going to cause another chain reaction of flat calls here, I fear. Duncan raising under the gun with the ace-queen. Michael calling in the very next seat. Allows Joe to call in the cutoff.
Yeah, you got to go from sober to buzz to.
Andres finds a no-peel with the 6-4 off. So just 3 ways.
Is that how?
How does Andreas fold the 6-4 there? With it's been like 4-1. Good for him. He would have missed, but
Another mystery hand from Michael here in the 4. 2 checks to Joe. He's going to decline to fire a barrel here with the king high as our camera number 3 gets hip checked.
he's been checked twice to Duncan. He's got to believe that ace queen was probably the best hand there, and everybody's missed.
I declined to put the c-bet in on the flop.
Yeah.
See the possibility to pick up this orphan pot. Also,
Michael
ace high
B-
might just be the best hand.
Could Michael
It's like,
B
you know, when
have
you're
Jack
making
9
a
again?
fire, you have to stoke it.
Yeah, you got
But it's dangerous.
I could be dangerous. Have you
Michael
seen,
B
like,
has not been afraid of
People
action
burn their
today.
house down. I think that's what the video is talking about, right? No?
The camera is going down before the end of the night. This is a daily fear with Escudero. Something that beats ace high shown down. 2 nines.
nines.
Takes
makes-
a very passive route here.
These kids these days getting excited, getting talking
He might have got paid off by the ace queen if he makes some type of bet.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
because
it's a very different pot if he threes it 3, gets it head up, ISOs the pre-flop opener out of position.
Are you too stoked right now? Is that what
But instead, he rested on the possibility that it was still the best hand at Showdown and was successful.
We haven't had a whole lot of hand discussion play tonight because everything's been probably pretty almost ABC or kind of fell in the way that you would think it would be big hand versus big hand.
Yeah, there have been some pre-flop, I wouldn't say head scratchers, but atypical moves of the back raise from Ron and the back raise
game
from,
is on.
from
Joe
Duncan.
has to raise here, right?
Yeah. Michael Macy definitely going to defend here if he gets to him with the ace-queen.
We did not get to find out how much they're playing for in the 7 deuce game.
What was
so
it last time, 50 bucks or
I
so?
think so.
And his 7 is dominated by the Aussie in the 3 hole. gutter against a pair of 5s, and
If Joe, oh, he misses the continuation right here.
there's 3 5s for Duncan here.
Yeah, he just cost himself the pot. He could have 3-bet there and maybe won with the 7 deuce. He picked up the extra.
Michael and Duncan possibly play a small pot here. I don't think Michael can take a whole lot of heat with the ace queen. Duncan looks like he's going to elect to just call. Joe's probably done with it.
However, I would like a really big raise out of Joe right now. Represent a hand like king's full or jack's full. There you go, Joe. Put in a big bet. There you go, Joe.
Ask and you shall receive, sir.
There you go, Joe. That's how you win pots. Michael Macy, stop the over-agonizing.
Now this is how Michael Macy can keep up. He blows a gasket here. All right.
Some people think this is a tough fold for Duncan. I don't think it is. The pre-flop action with Joe being the raiser, he checks the flop.
Just call. Now does Joe find another barrel here?
He's got to. He made a pair finally. Like $1,000 into a $795 pot.
I mean, the thing is, Joe now beats ace-10 and ace-queen.
But he beats any flush draw. There you go, Joe. Show him how to play this hand.
Small.
Too little of a bet. Too small a bet.
Yeah. Duncan beat him into the pot there with 3 5s.
He had to make the over bet, yeah. Kind of regretting playing the 7 deuce game. It cost him about $700.
350 was the river bet there. It's exceptionally small into the, it's less than half the pot, I'm pretty sure.
It wasn't. Yeah, I think he should have been much bigger.
I don't even think sizing is relevant there. I think Duncan's going to be calling about 99% of the time unless you find a way to just ship it for 2x the pot. And then he's still probably going to call a big percentage of the time. You make a hand like 3 5s on the king jack 5-5 board, and, you're just going to have to show him the kings or jacks full.
I think that Joe tried to represent that hand, did a good job.
Andres, patient man.
American Airlines. Any more cliches we got for ace-ace?
Gonna win the minimum.
I mean, if you didn't have a 5, it probably would have got you off your hand, too. So it was a valiant way to do it.
It was probably a got me off the jack.
Yeah, sure.
Illiterate.
Picks up the...
I forget whatever the top pair was.
Or just doesn't care.
Yes.
No, I didn't think so.
Duncan will not fold no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see a way how you don't get the showdown with the 3 5s on that board. It'd be tough for the guy to stack you with.
350 is not enough for you?
I could have folded.
See, and Duncan is saying right now the reason he called because the bet was too small.
I got your next drink, buddy. I got it. Don't worry about it. It's on me. I'm real generous.
Ron's raised with the ace-jack of spades, been called by the ace-10 offsuit.
I mean, Mike's throwing a party later.
With stale beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Relax there.
How is Del Vecchio throwing a party and not inviting us?
Yeah, we can mix Keystone and the stale beer together.
I'm out.
College just came back, really.
It's like just
Keystone is like what the college kids, one of the beers that college kids drink.
So 2 slabs and you still think you can drive home?
Yeah.
We always got kegs of Killian's Irish Red.
Probably like $8 to $10.
Remember Meisterbrow?
No, I think that might have been regional.
No, that was like, it was the Budweiser competition back. Well, I'm a little older than you. Back in the 80s, like late 80s, mid to late 80s.
They say it tastes like piss, but piss has less water in it.
You're not selling it to me at all. I'm thinking I probably shouldn't go out.
I'm actually a Keystone salesman too. So.
I was checking your sleeve, see if you had a Keystone.
The thing that sells Keystone is the 99-cent six-packs.
under his shirt. Love Keystone so much, I had to get a tattoo of it.
Andreas re-raised at the 240?
Yeah, bet raise on the Queen 8 tray.
got like 3 texts.
Good for you.
Probably saying, somebody saying, what the fuck were you doing that head?
Can you even buy Keystone anymore? Is it still around?
Pretty sure.
Are you old enough to remember Small Liquor Bull?
I haven't played it.
Yeah, how about Mickey's?
Dude, Mickey's is still around.
Maybe we have to go to liquor store.
Maybe we
Terry,
don't.
On the way
I mean,
to the, movie.
the
on the way to the
the wheelhouse of brands you were describing, I am just out.
We're gonna go. Do they have Zima still?
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Zima was the worst. That stuff gave me heartburn for like days. Oh, it's horrible. Oh. I went to this really classy charity dinner about 2 weeks ago. A friend of mine was being presented an award by the mayor. And why are there 2 people there doing the Corona with the grenadine in it and the Smirnoff with the grenadine in it? I was like, you can't get more ghetto than that. Joe's trying to decide what to do with the 2 7s here. We've seen a lot of 7s. Other than the set of 10s, we haven't seen any sets. The set of 10s twice against Ron's Ace King.
You been smoking more weed lately?
Well, 3-bet's going to take it down. Joe, the only one that could really put up the fight there, I feel like.
There's a conversation about how much weed is being smoked here on the table. It's ironically, it's not ironically, coincidentally, it's legal in Nevada.
Yeah. Lion's Head?
Is that a beer?
Just trying to get people to let them themselves. Didn't work.
That must be a regional Philadelphia thing.
Cheap Yingling.
I don't even know what Yingling is.
Yingling's good. Yingling's hard to find certain parts of the country. My dad got real excited he can get it in South Carolina now.
Got the 7 Ds for sure.
7 Ds.
What other hand would he have?
Is it a good beer or is it a cheap beer?
No, it's a good beer.
I think all of us.
It's yeah.
So that's how Meisterbräu was. It was the good substitute for, but it was cheaper than Budweiser.
Wow,
right?
Duncan was walking and had the 2 8s. Could have called third in to the under the gun open from Dan with the Jack 10 of clubs here. Ron, never seen 2 cards he doesn't like, defending his big blind with the 6 tray, and off we go.
And there Ron goes. That's why he's going to make some money.
Dan going to put the C-bet in here with top pair.
Great. Ron's going to flat him.
Andres probably going to think about
calling
healing.
Here, right? Yeah, why not? 5s could be the best hand here.
Now he did just put the raise in with the ace 10, no pair, no draw. Just elects to let it go. Ron probably just going to flat call 1 street here.
How about a 10 non-spade
Play
on the
it
turn?
cagey.
Ace. It's a good card for Ron.
Now Ron might have this backfire when it goes check, check here. Dan's got to think about what hands
he was trying
does
to
Ron check call with here.
That's a bad card for Ron because Dan could win this hand with a bet. I think Ron checks. No, he's going to bet.
Would not be surprised to see Dan just let this one go.
It's not a bad call, though, if he makes the call. He might think Jack 10 is good there. I mean, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
he beats every flush draw except the ace high.
Right.
Joe's in the 7s.
He doesn't beat any other Jack, though. That's unfortunately. He's going to pay him off. Don't do something silly like raise, because
might get the job done. You never know.
It's a bad story to tell, a bad line, I think, because he doesn't bet the ace on the turn when he makes it.
The mental shrugs coming in for young Dan here. Agonizing call there. Gets shown trays full, just good enough. Nice hand.
Well, I'm making a comeback here with some small to medium-sized pots.
With some unconventional holdings to boot.
Sometimes you got to play like that. Sometimes aces, kings, and queens don't work. But don't say that at the table. Oh, I only call that because I lost with kings. I keep losing my good cards. We have this theory that if you have to explain why you did it, it was probably a bad idea.
I just like to bet on football because it's the one sport.
That's how I like my massage.
They don't understand head knocks.
So I've been in the Cowboys.
For those of you playing along at home, I've just nodded my head twice in a row.
ruined my bet.
Need the booth camera.
Next season.
My parlay.
Do you know what the line was for tonight?
3.5 Raiders, I think.
Once again, sports betting conversation.
I looked at that
Just
line.
3.5.
And poker, they
It
go
is
hand
not a
in hand.
coincidence that all the poker rooms in Vegas are next to sports
It's
books.
27-16, I think.
That is not by accident.
Joe electing the flat call finally.
About 5 minutes left.
I'm a
And
Dolphin fan.
unfortunately, he's going to allow himself to take a pot out of position with the ace king of diamonds.
Cutler's so bad.
4 ways.
And has the second best hand.
Okay.
Nothing changes on that flop.
It's just
I don't know either of these teams.
But he has no quarterback.
Andre selects to just knuckle. 10-10-6-6. Counterfeited himself into the best hand here, huh?
Kenny Stills came and did an event, Super Bowl party last year.
Oh, I thought that was a 3, which would have been a bad call.
Yeah,
And he was fantastic. He was brilliant.
Is anybody going to try and rob this one?
Ron's going to bet the deuce for us, right?
Like just a nice guy. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Come on, Ron.
Nope. Ace high going to win it.
Probably good.
Oh, Andreas went runner flush. I missed
Oh,
that.
wow. I did too.
Flush good there.
I was curious why he was, he's third to show at Showdown and just rolls over jack high like he's got a prayer. I was curious why he did that.
He's the only reason I
He's
like
just
the Dolphins.
fast rolling the flush on the double paired board.
From New
Bam,
York,
I know
you're
it's
like,
good.
How did I become a Dolphin fan?
How does anybody become a Dolphin
Well,
fan?
Giants aren't doing much at the minute, and Jets have been terrible for a long time, so the options are small.
The Jets haven't been terrible for a long time. They've been
Giants fan.
back in the mid 2000s. They went to back-to-back AFC
I mean,
championships.
not really, unfortunately. I've had some pretty fun runs over the
We've
last.
had the Giants Redskins on New Year's Eve.
Jack 10 suited under the
You're
gun.
going to the game?
Once
Nice,
again,
nice.
getting open.
I mean, unfortunately, you don't get.
Everybody
to see,
folds a
like,
better hand, except for Dan, who's going to call with the worst hand.
Nothing at stake.
Yeah, exactly. Still, they're just so fun to
It'll
go.
be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it.
I've never been to an NFL game before.
I haven't either. But then again, I'm not American, so.
You live in Australia. That's
Hockey,
that's
yeah,
excusable.
It's really fun in person. Although I
But
haven't
how do
been
you
to
live in the
a,
United States and never been to an
12
NFL game? You just went to one for the first time, didn't you?
No, never been to an NFL.
I thought
game.
you just went to one
No,
recently.
I
for the-
just
Like when you
went
watch
to
hockey
Game
on TV,
7 of the
it
World
seems so
Series.
close.
Yes.
And then you see
Finley
like,
Veld
up close
Bragg,
and personal, and you're just like,
Care to
holy shit.
tell us how much you paid for those
Everything's
tickets?
just like,
Well, little did I know that you pay $1,900 for a ticket to a game on Vivid Seats, and they vig you another $600. So
That's my favorite part of the story. Is that you got. We
Yeah.
came into work and John was like, "If the Dodgers win, if it goes to Game 7, I'm going
it's
tomorrow.
middle of seventh
Taking the
inning.
day off, I'm going." I'm like, "All right." Cool. And then you're calling people to see who go with you, and
I
then
finally browbeat our one of our guys in the production lab back here, Matthew. Basically browbeat him into, come on, man, it's once in a lifetime. I know you got a couple bucks.
Yeah, me too.
Let's just pull the trigger. Let's do this. It's a bucket list kind of a thing. And so, yeah, I get him to be okay with, spending $1,900 for a once in a lifetime experience. And then we go and click the checkout button, and the total due is $4,900.
19 and 19 sounds like 38 to me.
Yeah, and so then we realized that there was almost $600 in fees per ticket. And basically, we both looked at each other and clutched our chests in agony. And finally, he just says, "Do it." Just before I think about it, just do it. And about 18 hours later, we were walking into Dodger Stadium. Cool experience.
My hidden fees story isn't nearly that good. I bought Timberwolves tickets online one day for $5 a piece.
That's great.
I bought 5 of them. Cost me $50.
Understand the strategy.
That math adds up.
I was like, wait a minute. And I realized it's $5.
But then you're like, it's $50.
It actually ended up being a great game because it was the game that coincidentally, it was my son's birthday, so we went, that Kevin Love broke Moses Malone's double streak or his rebound record. So it was just kind of like a cool second,
City are a bit good.
Yeah, very, very good.
Didn't play that badly, actually.
Again, you're watching Bellagio Pots on Twitch. I'm your host, Dallas Scott. My co-host, John Hardini, the great Hardini on Twitter. I'm at DallasScott73. If you want to be on the stream, join us. Hit us up on Twitter at Bellagio Pots or by email, poker@BellagioResort.com. Harry, how can they get those in this? How can you put that in the chat for them? Harry's going to put it in the chat for you. Looks like Michael's got a gut shot here and against 2 second pairs with bad kickers.
Because that is a word I will use from time to time.
Michael's turned his gut shot into an open-ender.
Hoping for a red river. There it is.
And it's the nuts. Well, it's not the nuts, but it's the nuts for his hand. Why doesn't Duncan pay? No, he doesn't. He doesn't think his jack's good there.
Just let's go a second pair, on to the next one. This has been relatively passive versus some of the other streams we've had. Now, people are defending. They're defending awfully wide, but, you know, people aren't taking the aggressive defense lines that we've seen previous.
Feel it.
Straddle.
Feel a 70.
Yeah, Harry. I mean, if I'm allowed to talk about the ways and reasons why I hate myself, I think somebody should be able to use the word masochism in the chat. That's just me.
We're going to do a round of straddles?
Oh, there we go. Let's kick up some action.
You guys want to do one round?
I would love to.
This is the thing where, like, you don't want to be the one guy who doesn't.
Yeah, all you need to do is, wow, Michael B declines to defend with the Queen 8 of Hearts.
He opened that hand earlier tonight.
Yeah. Straddles on, it's open to 70. You got $10 in, and with them the Jack 8.
One better I would have defended.
I had a deuce for that set.
Or a lot worse. One better or way, way worse. And then I'm in there.
Basketball's the hardest game.
I got to know, what
airport? I was
what
about to
airport
ask
are you at?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same question.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Joe's back with the 7 deuce again.
0 for 1.
Let's hope he doesn't lose another 700 on his hand.
I've heard, like, from a lot of people.
We know why you're coming, but what airport are you at, Watbury?
Sports betting. The NFL. Not
He's in the airport. You might not have audio on. That's the issue. Harry, do us a favor and ask Watbury what airport he's at.
Oh, Stockton.
Stockton.
California?
Oh, man. How did you get there?
I'm sorry.
People live there, bro. Have some respect.
Dude, I used to live in Sacramento. It's
Gutter?
It's the same thing.
Gutter versus the prop hand.
Yeah, you could almost drive to Vegas in the time it's going to take you for that 3-hour delay and the 1-hour flight.
Finally
Pay it
got
up.
1 for 2. Batting 500's not bad in some.
He's getting back
some
350
disciplines.
of the 700 he lost in the last one, plus a little bit in the pot. He might get close to even on this one.
Oh.
There it is.
I love
Now I
what
gotta go, guys.
makes one of
I
us.
think,
Mr. Macy acting like he's not going to pay up on the side bet there.
These 4.
Did you just raise and take it down? What
No, I
happened?
Delayed speed bet.
And I would have called.
Why do you keep dealing him 7 deuce? You've had it so many times.
That's a lot. No problem getting.
It's alright, maybe he's still down.
He's still stuck.
He's still stuck. All right.
I called 3. I can't call every bet.
Damn it, Mike. Mike, you should pay us all $50 too for messing that up for the rest of us.
I agree.
So I owe 350.
Yeah. Seems right.
Fortunate.
That's what you get for folding.
Straddle?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
At least one orbit of straddles going on here.
All the aces and 3s and 4s are gone. Like, this is...
No wheels to be had.
Yeah. Club versus clubs here.
3 players.
I got a feeling that Joe's going to win this hand. I did just...
Well,
yeah, yep. Getting pretty good at
live
this.
poker is rigged.
I mean, just pure mathematics. I mean, with all the cards that were already out, it's going to be hard for Joe to lose this hand.
Now, there is a possibility that we just double hop some clubs here. And I was just thinking, Ron, so far, with as wide as he's defended some of his blinds, has managed to avert disaster. Did he stack off to somebody in the very beginning? I'm trying to remember.
Ace King versus tens. We played the Ace King brilliantly.
Outside of
Joe made a suspicious call
so that
with
one
the
was
tens.
fine. But outside of that, you know, he's played a bunch of pots where he's just taken some really weird holdings to flop out of position and has not managed to get punished for a single one of them yet. It's pretty impressive.
I like the way that he's seeing flops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's mixing it up very well. I thought he played Ace King perfectly.
No, he played it. He played it absolutely fine.
Joe calling
Joe
there with the tens was.
It's also fine. I mean, I can't criticize either play there. You know, I mean, you're gonna 5-bet shove, back raise the Ace King. You know, you're obviously
Joe's probably thinking he's got a
obviously
smaller pair like sevens or eights, or maybe even thinking he's.
But you're obviously opening yourself up to a high variance route of playing Ace King, and you know, whether or not you win the pot, whether or not you win the coin flip, you know, you played it fine. So Dan just clicked back the $20 straddle here, and Andres decides to make it 120. Or did
Dan straddle?
Ron? No. Either Ron didn't straddle. Dan is under the gun. Okay, yeah. So there is no straddle in this pot. It's just an open to 40 and a 3-bet to 120, and Dan's going to come along after opening the Queen 10 suited up front. Might get a peel out of Dan here, depending on the bet sizing. I don't know how deep Andres is.
Not a good flop for either one of them, really. Andres has the ability to bet this continuation this and just take the pot.
Harry
down.
would have a rant about this flop and c-betting the King XX flop, where your opponent is very unlikely to have top pair here, and a check raise will get the job done, or the delayed ability to take the initiative. You check call one street, you can fire a later street and take it down. I don't know. He gets a little beautiful mindy about these kind of things, but there is some merit to what he's saying. When you see those real ragged king-high flops.
Are you saying he's schizophrenic?
Maybe I'm just saying he's real good at math.
But that guy was crazy.
Definitively, yes, sir.
I mean.
See, just for those of you playing along at home, we have waited for the day where we have a headset out of order. So Harry has no ability to defend himself whatsoever, and we can just beat on him while he just, you know, wipes tears from his eyes and edits chat. Is that Carmen at the front podium calling lists?
Wow. How strong is that?
What in the world is going on here? That is a busy little room for, it's still Sunday, right? I'm not going crazy?
It's been a crazy weekend. Like, I mean.
Yeah. Del Vecchio on the button with what I can only describe as a real hand. Ace King.
A lot of pocket sevens.
Yeah.
No set of sevens. Oh, Del Vecchio would have folded the sevens and won
that
both
was that was
boards.
the Corey. No, that was the Ace King against the Ace Queen pot, right?
Oh wow, we have no big games up top.
We have 0.
We have 8160 mix and a 200-200 Taiwanese. For those of you who don't know what Taiwanese poker is,
It's coin flipping. We're moving on.
I just don't get it.
People love it, man.
Joe's calling here with a pair and a gut shot.
Check the flop and allow Mikey to turn a pair of kings. When do you think the last time Carmen called a 2-5 no limit game down was?
I don't think she's ever called a 2-5 no limit game. It's not since she's worked here.
Many happy returns, Harry.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Congratulations, sir.
He's almost old enough to be taken seriously now.
But just so you know, at this point in your life, eating pancakes becomes a lot harder than it used to be, per Mr. Del Vecchio earlier in conversation.
So after going check, check, and opening your button and going check, check on the flop, Mikey has barreled twice and Stone pots it and gets a call out of the 2 7s of Joe.
It's not a bad call out of Joe here.
No.
Like, I mean, especially like he's got to specifically put him on a hand like Ace King or King Queen there. It's not a. It's unfortunately it's one of those spots.
Full pot size bet.
Yeah.
Well done.
And again, it polarizes his hand, right? We talked about those big bets, either all or nothing kind of thing there.
Who is favorite?
He could very easily be making the same pair of bets, turn and river with
fours or for the open
Ace
straight
Queen.
draw or Ace Queen. Yeah. There's a lot of hands there that Joe beat with sevens.
And she is selling this 2-5 game hard. Hand of the night, the Ace King under the gun, getting open to $40 by one Michael. Please don't flop a straight Mason.
Or a set.
Fold to Dan here in the $10 blind. He's going to peel with the 2 9s and the straddle. Oh no, Dan's in the second $5 blind. Andres comes along with 8-6 out of the $10 blind. Hey kid, I don't hate that flop with either Dan or Michael's hand. Checks 3 ways.
Now you gotta like Michael's hand, obviously. But the fact that Dan could be playing, one of them could be playing Ace Queen here. It's a bad pot. It's a bad place to seal a pot, I think.
Very small bet from Andres here, 60, 70, yeah. Flat call from Michael here. Obviously just trying to get this to showdown as inexpensively as possible.
So we have 21 games going right now in our run.
That's it?
5 2-5s.
Okay. Trying to start a 6th.
No, we're starting 5th. There's 4 and we're starting 3 5-10s. Not including plus this one, so that's 4. 2 20-40s, a 4-8, 200, 81 Taiwanese, 81-60 mix, a 40-80 hold'em game. It's a very diverse group of games. If you want a game like, again, if you want to play limit outside of 4-8, there's no place else in Vegas to play but here. I think one other place might offer an 8-16 game, but I think that's it. And we have 4-8, 9-18, 20-40, 40-80, 81-60.
Andres fires another barrel here with 8 high. Michael
leaves
Macy.
Him. Oh, and he shows the bluff.
That's much better than do 7.
I am
We're both thinking exactly
exceptionally curious to hear Michael's thought process about.
He thought he had a jack, right? You had to think he had a jack.
Yeah.
Or Ace Queen.
I mean, I might be underthinking, but I just.
This is another thing, though. Andres has to know that Michael's a good enough player to lay down Ace King. There.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna barrel that the second time on the turn and river, you have to know that your opponent can lay down a hand like Ace King.
Yeah. I think that might be just me having all the information of all these hands face up, affecting my opinion of the way that hand was played.
I think Andres gave Macy a lot of credit for his play and knew that if he didn't have a jack or a hand like ace queen, he couldn't call the river bet.
So is this a 3-bet from Joe here in the cutoff?
Normally called the middle one.
No, it's just a flat. Yeah, the frequency of 3-bets.
Did Dan raise fold ace jack here?
Yep.
Wow.
Fine by me.
He's out of position.
Ace jack of diamonds out of position. Doesn't bother me at all.
I'm not a fan of ace jack. I'm surprised that
it was a 3-bet.
Okay, that makes more sense. To fold it for the $30 was kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it seems like a reasonable speculative call as passive as the game has gotten pre-flop.
Came back after all that. Standing up and looked at his
Is
hand,
Young
like sat down and
Andres just quit the game, or is he just settling up with the
taking care of Desiree,
therapist?
the massage therapist, covering his $2 a minute. 40 is the new 30. That's probably true because I feel like I'm 24 and I'm well over it.
All I know is the $20 bill is the new $5 bill, but outside of that,
all I know is $10 bills are the most useless bill in the world.
So fucking tilted right now. There's no way he doesn't have a strong hand. This is bullshit.
It's gonna be should be an interesting pot. 5 deuce, 7-5. What's Andres gonna play?
7 deuce, of course.
King deuce. Oh, no. Jack 6. What a 5-5
Michael just
flop.
limped first in with the 7-5 of hearts. Okay. Joe's got the wheel draw.
Trying to represent
has the initiative. Going to continue.
I don't understand the call. If you're going to play that like that, I think the check raise is better, right?
Delayed bluff.
And that's exactly why I don't like it. Because his delayed bluff is going to just cost him money now.
Drawn to the nut straight.
Against an already made straight.
How does Joe elect to play this one? That's the question.
The bet's 100. Joe's going to make it 260. $250? I like the bet sizing. So Michael's inflated the pot, right? Now he's trying to convince himself he might have odds to call here because he's going to get implied odds.
He's got to decide whether or not he's drawn dead. Decides he is not. One more orange chip, please. So all of a sudden, with 7 high, Michael has found a way to play a $1,000 pot.
His only option here is the bluff, right? Because he can't win. Unfortunately,
tiny.
Joe has a hand he can call in with.
Joe beat him into the pot.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Slow roll by the dealer.
Yeah. Your kicker might play. Oh, no, he's got a real hand.
You know where this is going?
Yeah, he put himself in a bad spot there. He inflated the pot, trying to convince himself he had odds to call there when he probably didn't. And the only way he could win that hand was bluff on the river. Unfortunately,
What? Don't touch the card.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, unfortunately, John had a hand there that he could look him up with.
Help me auto key. Brother just left me schooling you. Not in terms of like
Everyone's
10
always
minutes.
happy. It's okay. next time I'll just make sure to go ace.
When he said full house, all I'm looking for.
Whoa, that's some broken glass.
Everywhere.
7-5 at a busted
Oh, I was
straight
gonna
draw.
wrap.
Do what? You're gonna wrap?
Yeah, broken glass everywhere. Well, that might be too old for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could have made the gutter for the wheel to chop. Right?
Yes, he did.
Cut off open with the 10-9 of hearts. Gonna pick up the minimum here. So coming up 2 weeks' time, we've got a handful of guys lined up to play 25-50 no limit. About half of them had said they wouldn't be too upset if the game got kicked up a little. I think there's a good possibility that game ends up somewhere in the neighborhood of possibly north of 50 and 100.
Yeah. I also feel like we're going to have people beating down the door because of the lineup that we already have.
Yeah.
Guys are going to want to play that lineup.
I think we've only got a couple seats set up for, or not already locked up for.
We've got 7 dudes.
Oh, that would be brutal. The 7 deuce game on, you get a walk with the 7 deuce.
Does that count?
Yeah, you won
That's
a pot.
gotta win, right?
Yeah. Looks like we've got 2 seats available for the Sunday the 19th, and we've got 1 seat available for Monday the 20th.
So if you want to be on the stream, hit us at Twitter at Bellagio Pots.
Bellagio Poker is our Twitter.
Oh, I'm reading the screen and looking in the wrong spot. Bellagio Poker on Twitter, and our email is poker
at Bellagio
Resort. Not singular, not plural.
Mikey, in a little pot, found a way to backdoor the nut flush.
This isn't my everyday.
Not a hair of action for him.
It's more fun to overbet. So I've been doing
This isn't my everyday play. This is not how I really
That's his
play.
excuse. I just have the nuts again, so I'm barreling.
Looks like Ron's got a straddle on here, right?
Yes, sir.
It's actually better.
5, 5, 10, 20.
You don't always hit. Sometimes you have to up. I know, giving it
Macy gonna open the straddled pot in the cutoff with the king, queen of spades. No one's gonna fault him for that one. Joe here in the 7 seat contemplating a play of some kind with the queen jack of diamonds.
Looks like he's going to raise. I just had to look it up.
Deja vu for, oh no, it was the other Mike the last time with the king-queen suited pre-flop. You just had to look up, sorry, go ahead.
The tournament you were talking about, Daniel Bland won.
Yeah.
At the $600 buy-in.
Yeah.
I was in that tournament.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I won, but I didn't win like he won. Like,
Three bet picks it up.
there's a lot going on in the poker room. It's very loud there tonight.
Yeah. For 21, 22 games, it sounds like 35.
I think we had 27 games most of last night. We had some really big 10, 20, 40 no limit hold'em games that were straddled and re-straddled. I saw a really sick 50K bluff. I heard a great line last night from a guy. One of the players says, "If I call here with ace high, is it a good call?" And the guy looks at him and he goes, "Yes." So the player calls with ace high. He goes, "It's a good call for me." I got the nuts.
All righty. Michael Macy opens the the Michael Jordan of diamonds. It goes call, and then Del Vecchio, 2 seats over, puts the 3-bet in to 210.
And
Ron
calls.
just cold calls $210
With 7
with the
deuce.
7 deuce off. Wing and a prayer. How about I make the best hand to boot?
Oh, boom.
There it is.
Can't fold now, Ron.
I mean, you call with the 7 deuce, you make a pair, you beat ace high, you beat queen high for Pete's sake.
Did you say 450 is at the bet? Boom. Show him, Ron.
Bluffing with the best hand.
Do you realise, Mike, that both times I had to play out because
I had a 2-2.
He was good. He had the best hand. I couldn't do anything.
True story. He did have the best
I
hand.
knew it was coming. I swear to God, I knew.
Thank you, sir.
Twice, Mike. That's twice. You gotta live with yourself.
That's funny.
I hit a pair. What am I supposed to do? I had a gutter. 2 overs. 2 overs. That was good enough.
So you were good?
Maybe no overs in the gutter. Now, have you actually thought about that with the king on the board? What 2 overs could he have?
Well, you could raise.
I don't think he was folded. He's got a lot in at that point.
He's got a lot in, that's right, with the 7 deuce.
You don't think you folded 7 deuce in that spot?
No, I don't.
He picked up $550, a $200 raise. Oh,
Ron.
plus the dead money in the
You
blinds
see-
and Macy's.
You see Ron over there just tickled. They're talking about him right in front of him.
Ron's one of the good guys here in the poker room. He's always, I've never seen him ever get upset about anything. He loses a pot.
He's a
just
pretty-
like whatever.
pretty level
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. He just
Well-
likes to play poker. Actually, he's kind of starting to get a little bored with it. Like, it's just. See, when he was working before he retired,
Yeah.
it was
All he
you know,
wanted to
fun
do was-
release. Yeah, now he's retired and he's like, I got to find something else to do. Ron used to own a couple of little casinos here in town. And
Oh,
some car
really?
dealerships.
Didn't know
Yeah.
that.
You get a chance, check out his new project, Square Panda.
The Plaid Patrol. I like it.
It's that time of year for plaid.
Oh, yeah. Pumpkin spice and plaid. That's where we're at.
There are days when I'm glad I'm not home in Minnesota. Like yesterday, they got like 2.5 feet of snow.
I mean, people go there of their own volition. And I mean, I get it. There's certain settings where like, oh, 2.5 feet of snow, great. Aspen's going to be beautiful. But Minnesota ain't Aspen. You know, I just, if your day-to-day involves having to fade 2.5 feet of snow,
It's not the snow that's
different.
bad. It's the cold that comes with
Yeah,
the
it's the
snow.
20 below.
Yeah.
It's the.
But it doesn't snow when it's 20
The
below.
joke about, yeah, it's too cold to snow.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be like in the 30s to snow. Anything cold than that, it doesn't snow. So it's still relatively warm when it snows.
So, Michael, no, Andres,
Raised to 300? That's got to be wrong. That's got to be a misclick, right?
Yeah.
No, there's 700. No, this is.
Yeah, no, there was
I did.
When you had the
Yeah.
7, I folded.
We'll never
So
know.
he's folded, but both those D7s we've lost, he's folded.
Both times the D7 rally is played.
I think someone back in the booth just had a sneezing fit. Forgive me, I wasn't paying terribly close attention to the way this went down. So yeah, when Michael B elects to 3-bet it to $300 with the pocket trays, Michael checks once, lets it get checked back, and Macy just fires the king high and picks it up. Interesting one. Wish I'd been paying a little bit more attention at the start of that, so it would have made sense from the get-go. But, you know, your attention wanes from time to time.
It's not their fault. It's not their fault. No, they're sleeping.
Michael opening another one here. To Joe on the button with the 2 9s, puts the 3-bet in, $120 looks like. Andre's probably not going to come along with the suited king. Back to Michael, he's going to defend, and a heads-up flop, away we go.
Got a mystery hand from Michael here. It's a good flop.
That might be a great flop for Joe, depending on the run out.
Oh, let's go look and see if I have a spade.
Question is how much?
I don't like checking.
That is
I don't like checking a set there. Yeah, I don't like checking a set there. If he's going to get there, make him pay. Oh, he's got
Michael
the best hand.
Is finding the bluff route here, unbeknownst to himself.
He's got to shut down now after this, right? But I mean, maybe.
Michael gonna find another street of bluff.
Joe's probably gonna reluctantly pay this off.
Yeah,
If you call the turn,
bet.
if you call the turn, and the texture doesn't change, why are you not calling the river? I don't.
You're calling for the board pair and the board pair only to win a big pot. Wow. That was,
looks like U7.
I think we're in agreement that that was a mildly disastrous
Plus, I'm not
check
in the
back
hand,
on
so.
that flop.
Yeah, I don't like checking sets there ever.
Now, he might be losing that pot no matter what he does if Michael's willing to defend his open with ace-10 off. I don't know.
Because he checked there, he put himself in the position, or he couldn't even represent the flush when Michael bets in front of him. He 3-bets a hand that contains a spade that he could continuation the flop with, and then he checks the flop, like a hand like King Queen with the Queen of Spades, Ace Queen with the Queen of Spades, Ace Jack with the Jack of Spades.
I mean, if he just has King X of Spades there, though.
But if he's representing that hand, doesn't he has to raise the turn then, right?
Oh, it's an interesting
Pretty raggedy flop. Too bad nobody has 7 deuce.
Michael finds a check with top pair and finds a way to not lose it by knuckling one more time. Going to try and get one street of value. Unfortunately, he's going to be up against Queen High and Jack High, respectively.
Michael's play has been a little, I don't know if it's inconsistent or if it's tricky or what it is.
A little wide.
Yeah.
He's not been afraid to splash around a little bit.
And Mr. Mason's going to try and take this.
Might go home and try it.
Looks like we got about 30 more minutes left of the stream tonight. Our executive producer, Mr. Matt Lutterby, is telling us.
Michael looking to rob this one away from one pair.
It's a great raise. Mr. Michael B hasn't shown us that he can lay down a hand yet.
Very little thought.
Perfect timing. Watch him bluff it off.
I think he picked the wrong person to bluff there. Like,
yeah.
Michael B has not shown the capacity to fold a hand once he puts the chips in.
He's playing real good tonight.
Get needled by Mr. Del Vecchio.
If you compare it to the last few times, he's actually playing really well.
The last few times were not, I mean, we're just cooler after cooler. Yeah.
I also played kind of bad, but that'll happen.
He drank a lot more the first two, Mr.
Yeah, my
Macy.
first time playing, I was like, okay, everybody's taking this like a joke and everybody's just blasting around, right? And then that wasn't the case. Like, people were really trying. And it's like, oh.
Oh, I shouldn't have called off the King Queen there.
Probably should have tried like everyone else.
That's funny. Welcome to Bellagio Pots, where you are by no means required to try.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to stumble in here and punt it off.
Yes.
You won't hurt us feelings in the bit.
They pay out for that, don't they? They pay
In
out.
the least.
Oh, yeah. Pays out right
Speak
here.
to them yet, all that, yeah.
For the fans.
Man, yeah, exactly.
I want that King over bet.
Pair good for young Macy here.
I keep trying to get it. I can't get it. Trying to get 7 duos.
That's exciting. Straddle.
Yeah, we haven't had we've seen one full house, right? That's the 10s against Ron, where he moved the 10 when they ran it twice, and Mr. Del Vecchio folded what would have been a full house. There's no sets other than those 10s and no full houses. It's been a relatively...
It's been a bluff cashy kind of day.
Probably do really well. Why do you play more of them? I meant that as a compliment.
Now it looks like the $20 straddle is on here, and Ron elects to open the 8-7 spades. Hasn't found a single taker until we get back to the $20 straddle. Mikey Del Vecchio going to defend the 10-9 of clubs. Let's go.
I like that flop for Ron's hand.
Check, check.
Stating the obvious here. That's a great card for Ron. Oh, he doesn't bet the 7.
Just going to win the minimum with a pair of 7s. All right.
4 to a straight.
I don't think that's 4 to a straight. Might have 4 to a flush.
No, I didn't see it. I'm going to guess it ended at 24. Because it's only a minute long. Yeah, good point.
Good spot to raise for Andres. Oh, he's going to let it go. Mr. Macy does not try to steal from the button.
2 completes here, and oh no, Duncan found a fold out of the first $5 blind. Pair of trays, best hand.
My
Bet
first card was
fold.
7. I was like, oh baby, let's do it. Second one was a 4.
Doesn't matter what card he showed, Mr. Del Vecchio, he had the best hand.
It's true.
Bluffing with the best hand. I love when I get bluffed out of a pot by guys who have the best hand. And then they want to show it to you.
They're so
right?
proud.
Yeah, like they show it to you. And you're like, I beat my 7 high no matter what you had. Like, there you go, Mr. Macy. Ace 5 of
Cut
diamonds.
off open, suited ace.
We know Michael B's not folding. Duck to fold 6 deuce.
And the question is, Del Vecchio does have a hand with the 2
Del
kings.
Vecchio's.
It's a big 3-bet right there. It looks like it's $210 from a $30 open. Now, Mikey has shown a pattern of this with all kinds of holdings.
Right, and remember he was just talking about how he doesn't normally play like this with these big raises.
Yeah.
Is it a call?
Yep. Michael Macy getting a little squirrely here with the ace-5 of diamonds. And it's going to be tough to get a bunch of money out of 2 kings here, but he does manage to flop top and bottom pair.
They're going to be talking about this hand for a while amongst themselves and laughing at each other.
Now, after putting 210 in, he's going to fire for 150 bucks.
Third size pot bet.
On that texture board, can't hate it. Kind of compels Michael to peel another street if he has a weaker hand, but obviously with top and bottom pair, he's not going anywhere. Delvecchio on the shutdown here. Does he find another street to barrel?
I like a check back here by Macy. But like Mr. Delvecchio, think he has the best hand.
I mean, what are you worried about? King X of clubs.
7-8, 6-7.
420.
Are you folding too many hands here if you let 2 kings go?
No. I think they know too much about each other. These guys played a lot of poker together.
Good times.
Yeah. Because Delvecchio knows that Macy can make the same play with queens or jacks.
Yeah.
And now this is the more, this is where he's got to think about it. This is why position is so important in this game. If Macy was under the gun or an early position with didn't have position on Delvecchio, he would have never called this ace-5. But because he does, it allows him to see what Delvecchio is going to do and how he plays the hand in front of him. And he's made a monster.
There's a very fast river action here. Check, pretty much an immediate rip.
Which might show weakness, right? Playing hand quickly.
I'll tell you this much. Michael Macy is very relieved that he didn't get beat into this pot on the river.
I didn't want you to go all in.
We are aware. Now, Delvecchio might have shot himself in the foot a little bit by bloating with this monstrous 3-bet pre. But probably most, if not all, of the money is going in here either way with the bet, check, call, check, line.
I could beat 7 deuce.
You could beat 7 deuce? So could I. Can't beat it. Queen though.
You think Mikey is more or less likely to find a fold as
I was going to say he's going to fold. He knows. He knows he's up against at least one ace.
See it on TV.
You don't have to wait that long. I'm going to run and tell him what it is as soon as the stream is over. It was a good lay down, but...
Time for time?
Oh, it's so hard to fold.
Again, you're watching Bellagio Poker on the Strip, Bellagio Pots on Twitch or YouTube. I'm your host, Dallas Scott, my co-host, John Harden, the Great Hardini on Twitter, or Dallas Scott 73 on Twitter. If you want to be on the stream, hit us on Twitter at Bellagio Pots.
Bellagio Poker.
Bellagio Poker. I keep reading the wrong thing on the screen. Or poker at BellagioResort.com.
He's 4-betting you.
Is our email.
And then you called. And I was like, call?
Looks like a lot more than 21 games.
We're about to get it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carefully selected and curated angles do wonders.
Chicken down.
Or maybe we've got 30 games out of nowhere.
Straddle.
Yeah, big
$20 live straddle is on. Strudel from Young Iran in the 8th seat.
Started off with a raise.
I had the best straight up. I best hand on one out of 4 streets. There's a lot of straights to have.
You think the previous playing that you talked about earlier of Del Vecchio raising big with a lot of range of hands played into Macy's calling him in position with the ace-5?
Possibly. But it was the first oversized pre-flop 3-bet that I think we've seen. We've seen a lot of like continuation bets out of him that were absurd in size and just, you know, leads into, you know, flop checks around and you lead turn for 1.9x the pot.
Right.
But as far as just putting a 3-bet in, it was the first time I think we'd seen him bloat one that way. A little bizarre. Maybe he's trying to rewrite the book, take it back to the lab.
Yeah, I saw the
be the next pioneer of next level of strategy.
I didn't make a conscious decision. I was gonna 4-bet and I just fuck it.
I've done that before.
Make overbets great again.
I was going to 4-bet my ace-5, but I decided just to call.
I don't believe this button is correct. Ron straddled the last hand, and now Dan's in the $10 big blind.
No, you missed the hand. Oh, that was the last hand, right?
Yeah, button's not right. Yeah. Mikey's raised and open, flopped and open-ended against the top pair of Dan out of the incorrect big blind.
It's one of those spots where it wouldn't be wrong to check raise here, but you're getting called if you do.
There's
he does check raise.
Small, 30 to 70. Almost inviting.
Got a rainbow board and an
bet
open-end straight draw, yeah.
Four's blank. Don't know if you know that or not.
Four,
check,
6,
raise,
7,
check.
No, doesn't make it.
Could he be going for the trifecta here? My favorite line in all of poker. Also known as abject disaster in a pot limit or no limit game. Make it 200. Ah, all right.
Del Vecchio might think he has the best hand here with a pair of 7s.
Once again, Dan loses value by Mikey making a pair, I think.
Oh, there's Miss Danielle.
The D-Moon woman.
Played quite a few of our streams before.
We'll make it 10-handed for you. You have that status.
9-handed, you mean?
Don't we have?
We have 8.
We have 8?
Oh, Michael Macy. Basic arithmetic was never
always
his strong
know what's
suit.
going on. That's why he wins so much on the on the box.
Split action, we can play, you know? Yeah. You know what? The game's breaking.
If you follow Danielle on Facebook, it's always great to watch her triumphs in CrossFit. Every time she makes a new achievement, she's like...
She had something this week, right?
Yeah, she was jumping all over the place. Some type of, I don't know, something I can't do. So.
Advanced pull-up, leg up, hip up.
Oh.
Michael Macy opened the 2 8s under the gun. 2 spots over. Duncan has pocket aces.
Oh. No, that's not right, right? Something's wrong.
Duncan had pocket aces
he walked
and
away
was
from the
walking.
table. Wow.
And Michael elects to just flat the 2 jacks. Duncan, if and when he watches this, is going to be beside himself
he's gonna be
until
glad.
he sees this flop.
Wow.
Wow. That is as good as you can run.
That's one of those hands where they come back and says, "Oh, you folded aces," and they're legit.
When marijuana got legal,
That would have probably been the biggest pot of the night
I
right
bought
there.
the marijuana, and it just sits on my counter.
One of the top 3.
Just sits there all the time.
Mr. Del Vecchio talking about how when marijuana became legal here in Nevada, he went and bought some, and now it's just sitting on his counter for months. He just bought it to buy it, and now it's still sitting on his counter.
That's funny. It's like buying a pizza now.
Right.
Now 1 hand too late. Back comes Duncan Kirk.
He has no idea he got saved.
That's crazy.
Walk it, like, you have to give your ID scene. Like,
And it looks like Michael B has about 1,400, so.
They sell a bunch of stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, they sell edibles.
Oh, well, no, that all in, remember the 10s? That was the double 10s. That was the
I walked in, I was like, okay.
Which was, that was pretty amazing, actually. Yeah, we couldn't think
I need like this.
So we got one limp to the button, open to $40 with 8-5, and Dan elects to call the open this time with the ace jack.
I'm sorry, I was listening to Mr. Del Vecchio's story about not knowing how to buy weed and trying to buy weed. Oh, Mr. Macy's coming along.
Green light.
I think mine was called.
Likes to take the low variance route and just allow it to go off 5 ways.
It's like alcohol.
I think one of the greatest things I've seen in Vegas so far is because there's dispensaries all over the place as you drive down Rainbow Avenue here. There's a dispensary that has a sub shop right next to it. And the sub shop's called something like Chiba Hut or something like that.
Okay.
Like, how much more brilliant can you be? Let's get them high and feed them.
5 checks.
I have a receipt.
Board pair turn.
Looks like
Macy's got to find a barrel here, doesn't he?
Yes.
That's half the pot. If he gets by this mystery hand to Michael B, which he doesn't, I was about to say he might be home free here. I think he's going to be heads up against this mystery hand. Hip check to camera 3 again. Andres finds a call with pocket 5s. 4 diamonds now.
One more time, Mr. Macy. Okay.
I think Michael's gonna.
I don't know if you were watching that, but Michael B cost himself money.
Look back, sweated his hand,
Yeah,
tapped his cards.
Before
and then bet
Macy had a
500.
chance to
There's an
act.
extra 350 in the pot. Did you bluff him?
Shows the
Oh,
4s
got
full
him.
of trays.
Oh, no, yeah. Wow. I thought it got you so good.
No, and the thing is that, like, Macy might have taken another stab at that, but Michael gave away his hand.
If he pulled the best hand with 7.
What's that?
That was interesting. I didn't expect him to show up with 4s full there, but, you know, the queen of diamonds. Wow.
Yep, he's doing the commentary.
Mr. Ludderby, would you like to do some commentary? Come on in, sir.
We just made it 300 free.
Hello, hello.
That was,
Everybody,
that
this
was
is
play.
Matthew Lutterby. He happens to be the guy clicking all the buttons, making sure all the bets are right, keeping track of the action. By the miracle of the 30-minute delay between the broadcast and the commentary, he can happen to do both and criticize himself.
Yeah, you know, I just try to keep up with the action and make sure everything comes out smooth and good for all of our wonderful people viewing and making sure that they support the stream. And it's not the easiest of jobs. I have a direct line with the dealer. They tell me all the information that needs to be put out, and I try to do my best to put the information put out there.
Very good. Mikey opened this one. Joe, the next seat over, puts the 3-bet in with the ace-jack. Mikey peels, and it's no pair against no pair, king and ace high. Joe puts the C-bet in here. Multi-street attempt to rob this one might be in effect for Mikey. Checks twice, checks back. Pretty much a green light for Mikey to fire this river with king high.
Mikey had a bit of a tough time this stream.
Yeah.
It was a tough game for him.
Small bet, smells very value-y.
Joe goes into the tank here. Joe played a really good day today.
Yeah, we had a long discussion about the pocket 10s against Ron's ace king, where Ron decides to flat the 3 and then 5-bet back raise shove We said both of them played their hand just fine. It's just is a pretty wild way to watch that one get that much money
Correct.
in the middle. So.
Yeah, that was not long after that we switched decks. We were having a little bit of issue reading some of the cards.
Joe
and
does
after
find
we
a call with
switched-
the ace high here.
Yep, Joe calls.
Huh.
He,
Very nice. Wonder if Mikey's gonna second guess the sizing of his bet there on the end.
Oh, it's getting expensive.
So it's looking like we've only got about 4 or 5 more hands left here tonight.
Yep. Unfortunately, we're not going to have any kind of PLO flip at the end.
I thought they were talking about doing a bomb pop. They didn't
No bomb pop.
I can't speak English. all of a
Banana.
sudden. Banana.
I think all of our staff tonight did a really good job. Chrissy and Nate did a fantastic job dealing. Leslie, our kind of our mediator at the table, did a great job making sure everybody kept their cards in action and helped us out a lot. Very appreciative of that. Of course, our commentators and our wonderful moderator and helper of always, Harry. Social producer.
Yeah. Associate producer and
associate.
executive shopper.
So is he my associate? I'm executive producer, but he's an associate. Okay. What does he produce?
Produces Fry's Electronics receipts. Andres folds to his button and he opens. Duncan puts the 3-bet in and he elects to not defend and just let the $30 go along with the button. That's a rarity this day and age in No Limit Hold'em, is to open your button and get 3-bet and just be done with it. Joe under the gun, disc one fold to the ace high. Yeah, we were remarking on how this has kind of been a loose passive dynamic in this game. There hasn't been a whole bunch of the 3-bet, 4-bet. I mean, early we had the couple weird 5-bet all-in pre-hands. But since then, it's been a lot of, you know, just elect a call and take flops in position.
It's been a pretty soft game.
Yeah.
Not too much action that's been going on. Apparently, Michael's trying to get his hand in a cookie jar here.
Deja vu 3-bet amount too. When he had the pocket kings, he made it 210 to the $30 open and the flat call in between as well. Huh.
Fuck, now I wish I would have called.
Looks like Ron's putting the straddle on again.
That's so weird.
And this is the second to last hand. We finish with Ron being on the big blinds.
The penultimate deal.
We unfortunately couldn't get too many people to put a secondary.
Did the 40 go on ever?
I never saw the 40 go on.
There was one point where I thought Ron had put the 20 on, but it was the fact that Ron was in the big blind and Dan opened the 40, where I thought Dan had put the live 40 on.
I think Dan's a little too tight to straddle. I don't think he straddled.
I don't know if I would call him tight, but pocket sevens have been the pocket pair of the evening. I think about the only time it's managed to win is when it was up against the other 2 sevens. Michael B with the suited ace is going to come along, just calling. Mike and Joe get rid of their pieces of cheese, and Ron sets himself up for disaster on the diamonds flop.
I'm kind of surprised that Ron doesn't try to continue the action here on a straddle with a king-queen suited. It's a pretty good straddle hand.
Yeah. King queen suited out of position, not exactly a hand you really want to blow a pot up with. However, he just chooses to lead straight into the pre-flop opener. Andres gets out of the way with the 2 sevens, and it's an interesting one. That's a line people very rarely take, is literally anything other than checking back to the pre-flop raiser on flop. Ron. Yeah.
I think
we've seen a couple guys do that. We've seen Worry, Eric Worry enjoyed doing that very much. Yeah, that is true.
I'll do a bomb pot. 100 each.
Yeah.
Do we know how many of these gentlemen we have coming back tomorrow to play with us?
Not exactly. We've got a couple other people possible. Hold on. They're making a discussion about something here.
This is the last hand scenario. They were discussing on wanting to do a bomb pot or potentially do a Omaha flip, but unfortunately they could not come to
They're trying to do a bomb pot is what they're trying to do. Have we seen one of those yet on the stream?
No, generally I think the main thing we've been getting recently is the Omaha flips is what we've been getting.
Let's do a $1 bomb pot.
$1 bomb pot is the proposal.
You guys can still do a PLO flip at the end. This will be televised.
I'll do a PLO flip after this.
Okay. Is that after you've got over the tilt of not getting a bomb pot?
Yeah.
Andres, deja vu, pocket sevens once again, hoping for a slightly different result this time around. Joe's going to defend with the suited king, and Ron says, well, I've got Del 2 cards.
Yeah, you're at
That's a pretty nice flop for King 8 of Hearts there.
My goodness.
Top pair with
top
the
pair,
flush draw.
second up flush draw. Unfortunately, once again, he's up against 10 high and a under pair, effective third pair. Now 2 checks. C-bet goes in for Andres. Is Joe going to find the check raise here? Elects to just call. Ron gets out of the way with the 10 high.
I have a suggestion for your craziness after this. C7 check. Game you should try.
What?
I have a suggestion for your game you should try. I'll tell you when we're done. No.
Andres finding another barrel here. Relatively small, 120 into the 200 or so.
Got a little bit of poker, a little bit of game.
No reason to size much bigger than that, I guess.
Looks like Joe finds the flush on the river, even though he was leading the whole way. Now, does he lead or does he give Andres a chance to fire back out of the pots?
A lot of people will say that you should be checking your whole range in this spot some percentage of the time. Allow your opponent to make a mistake for you. If the only thing you're going to bet out here is the top of your range, it's pretty exploitable. You know if the guy ever bets a river after check calling twice that he's got a big hand.
But if it's just like any other way, I just get to see the flop, especially.
Don't mind the check, but you know.
Flush is probably
So is that going to do it for us?
That is going to wrap us up for the evening.
That's the last hand for Bellagio Poker on the Strip. I am your host, John Harden. Dallas Scott has passed the microphone off here to Matthew Lutterby to say hello for a moment.
All right. And again, tomorrow night we'll be back at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We got another 5-5-10 no limit hold'em game. And again, if you want to be on the stream, hit us on email at poker@BellagioResort.com or on Twitter at Bellagio Poker. And our associate producer Harry will get back to you and get you signed up for the game. Next tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 5-5-10 no limit hold'em. Again, I'm your host Dallas Scott, co-host John Hardini. Thank you guys very much.